Mm. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Boy, now you make me float. Boy, you really give me high. Ooh, I feel like I'm on dope. 'Cause you serve me on a regular. Boy, need to tie this rope. Before you drift in me deeper. Baby, now hold me close. Let's take this overboard now. Cause you go where I'm going, yeah. And surely you get my vote. 'Cause I believe you know just what you're doing now. Baby, now we can close. Let's go. Let's not get in a hurry. No, that's too slow. Put that thing in overdrive. I want you to ride. from Nicaragua, thought you was Persian love. Are we turning up? Or are we wasting time? Girl, don't waste my time. No party, I don't just wanna chill with you. Oh no, I wanna turn up on. I wanna turn you on. I wanna let you. That's the least I'ma do. Ooh, fuck, I look like I don't wanna chill. I'm kissing you, I want you to feel it, baby, can you feel me, baby? Can you feel it, baby, can you feel me, baby? Ooh, fuck, I look like I don't wanna chill. I'm kissing you, I want you to feel it, baby, can you feel me, baby? Can you feel it, baby, can you feel me, baby? Oh, feel me, baby. Can you feel me, baby? Feel me, baby. Can you feel me, baby? Oh, feel me, baby. Can you feel me, baby? 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 Feel me, baby. No party, I don't just wanna chill with you. Oh no, I wanna turn up on. I wanna turn you on. I wanna let you. That's the least I'ma do. Ooh, fuck, I look like I don't wanna chill. I'm kissing you, I want you to feel it, baby, can you feel me, baby? Can you feel it, baby, can you feel me, baby? Ooh, fuck, I look like I don't wanna chill. I'm kissing you, I want you to feel it, baby, can you feel me, baby? Can you feel it, baby, can you feel me, baby? Feel me, baby. Can you feel me, baby? Feel me, baby. Can you feel me, baby?
Whole team shining stars, big different. Get a lot of hashtag gang in the city.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey y'all. Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. Y'all come on in. Come on in, hit the like button. We're gonna get into it, okay? Give me just a second. Y'all come on in, hit the like button. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm gonna do a quick roll call, but I gotta pull something up real quick, y'all. Let me pull something up. Let's see who we got in the building. Thank y'all for the like so far. I appreciate that. Good morning, Riaz. Hey, Miss Reggie. Hey, it's a wrap. Hey, Bertha. Hey, Candy Corn. Hey, Miss Margie. Hey, Leah. Hey, Room Shaker. Hey, Sanjia. Good to see you, boo. Hey, Duchess. Hey, E. Brooks. Hey, Miss Carla. You can't see Reggie. Go up there and hit all messages. Go up there and hit the little wheel and click on all messages and see if you can see her then. Miss Carla. All right, y'all, we're gonna get right into it. The intro was long enough, honey. Whoever's here gonna be here. Let's get into it. So listen, this case right here that we're gonna talk about today is about. Hey Trey, good morning. So,
Hello.
have you heard about this case? Probably not, huh?
I don't think I have until I start hearing it.
It's about a month old. I'm trying to get to the first thing I want to react to. Hey, ask questions. Good to see you, boo.
She got to say it again.
Hey, Grayson, how you doing, girl?
Nothing.
She said,
You
"How you
doing?
doing? What you
You doing
doing?"
nothing? You doing nothing?
Before my dad's morning for tic tac toe.
Tic tac toe.
Yeah, play tic tac toe.
You cheat.
Mm,
Yes, you do.
it's not a teaser.
I'll play.
I'm trying to get to. I guess I can start out because she got a lot of clips on her. But I'm trying to get to the first video we're gonna play, y'all. Y'all give baby Petty some unicorns in the chat for me. I mean Grayson. Child. Let me get it right. Let me get it right. I'm gonna do this first
She
video.
catnapped today.
She did what?
She catnapped today.
The hell that mean?
It's some character I think on Roblox or something, but she catnapped today.
Oh, catnap. All right, y'all. So I want to get into a video that's gonna give y'all, cause there's a lot of videos out there, but I want to go into one first that's gonna give y'all a kind of roundabout. So I'm gonna start with this one. I'm gonna start with kind of give y'all a roundabout synopsis of what this case is about. Cause like I said, it's about a month old. There's a lot going on with it, and we're gonna get into it. Like I probably I'm gonna be on this one for a couple of days. Thank y'all for the unicorns. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Trey, let Grayson see her unicorns, please, and thank you. Hey, Georgia girl. Good to see you, baby. Y'all come on in. Welcome, welcome. Thank y'all so much for joining me for this live stream. So listen, y'all. Shout out for those that's in the building. I'm so excited about the fact that I finally got back on this channel. Our first episode after so many months was on Monday morning. So if you did not catch that live stream, so you know about it, it's a wrap. I just love it when I do cases and y'all be knowing about them ahead of time. I'm gonna start putting up when I start new cases. I'm gonna start, and y'all excuse the yawning, please. I still ain't been sleeping, y'all. I apologize. I still ain't been sleeping, so if I'm yawning, I apologize. So listen, um, I'm gonna start putting up when I start a new case. I'm gonna start putting up, um, like on my community wall post, maybe or doing a short or whatever, and let y'all know what case we're gonna be discussing. So y'all can go and do a little research on it, so y'all can kind of sort of know what we're gonna be talking about. Okay, it's a wrap. So we're gonna get into this one, and like I said, this case is about a month old, but there's a whole lot going on with it. And actually, I just came across this case this morning. I was actually gonna do another case off of one of the channels that I follow, but when I saw this, I said, "Oh no, we're gonna get into this. We're gonna get into this." So, like I said, if you didn't catch the live on Monday morning, please go over and be sure to catch the replay on that live. um that we did on Monday morning. I think that was an excellent live to start off me returning back to this channel. So listen, so today, y'all, we're gonna get into the case involving Miss Shaw. Her name is, I won't get it right, Sade Robinson. All right, this is Sade Robinson. And apparently from what, because I've just started researching, I've just started gathering information. You started it. I just started. I just started yours truly. Hey girl. Um, we're gonna get into Miss Sade Robinson now. Just a brief, just something brief about the case. We're gonna listen to, and y'all know I like Nancy Grace. I don't react to a whole lot of her stuff, but in this case, I think I'm going to be reacting to her stuff. And I like Nancy Grace to a certain extent. It's some things I don't like about her, but then there's others that I do. Oh, she was only 19. Ask questions. She was only 19. Um, Sade Robinson went out on a first date with a guy and ended up unalived, right? On that first date now, mind you. She's 19, this guy is 33. And they went on the first date and she ended up unalived and dismembered on that date. All right. Pretty much her remains was spread across, is it Milwaukee? I think it's Milwaukee. But we're gonna get all the facts of the case. In her car set on fire. Okay. So let me do this before we get started, because y'all know I know that a lot of stuff can be triggering for y'all. But we gotta talk about it, right? So we're gonna do that. In fact, I need to I had intended on making another trigger warning, but that's okay. We gonna get into it. So listen, we're gonna listen to Nancy Grace now. If I can get a mod to drop and Nancy Gray, even though she don't need my help, but y'all know whenever I react to somebody's stuff, I like to shout them out. I like to drop their link in my chat so y'all can go over and check it out for yourselves. So if I can get, if I, yeah, I got them. If I, so can I get a mod to drop Nancy Grace YouTube channel in the chat, the link to her channel, so y'all can go over there and maybe watch some more videos because we're gonna get into it. We're gonna react to a lot of stuff, and today is just part one. Okay, so because like I say, it's a lot going on with the case. It's about a month old. Okay, so what we're gonna do is listen to this video that Nancy Grace did on. It was a month ago on April 18th, 2024. The title of this particular video we're gonna listen to first is Dismembered Girl Sade. I hate they call her girl, but hey. Excited about date with spoiled brat killer suspect. Okay. So let's listen to this. Thank you, Ebrooks. So y'all can get kind of familiar with what this case is about. All right. There are some court records and some court documents that I'm going to be going over with y'all. Not probably, I don't know if we're going to get into it today, but I do have the court documents of the charges against this guy, and also I'm gonna give y'all a little spoiler alert. I'm gonna go a little ahead of what we're gonna get into today. But her family, I think as of yesterday, has filed a wrongful death suit against this guy. So I'm assuming him or his parents probably got money. So her parents have filed a wrongful death suit against him. Okay. And I also have the court documents for that as well. But we're gonna listen to this video first and get y'all familiar with the case and what went on, all right? So let me cut my Bluetooth on. Y'all please be sure to hit the like button.
Power on. Bluetooth pairing.
Please be sure to hit the like button and also feel free to support the channel. Now this channel is monetized, so you can do Cash App, PayPal,
Bluetooth
or
connected.
Super Chat, okay? And I appreciate it. All right, let's get into. Hey, K Shell. I hope I didn't miss anybody coming in. I've been trying to pay attention as well as work my magic over here. So I hope I didn't miss anybody. But welcome everybody. Thank y'all so much for joining. I appreciate it. Let's get into the case of Sade Robinson, and his name is Maxwell. I think Anderson. I don't want to get it wrong, but I think his name is Maxwell Anderson. Her name is Sade Robinson. Let's listen.
Disappearance and dismemberment.
Hold on. I hate when the video don't start at the beginning. His family is wealthy. I was trying to keep up. Okay, good, Shed. I'm glad you know about it, girl. I kind of figured that normally families don't file lawsuits or wrongful death case suits against broke people. So I kind of figured without even knowing for a fact that his family was wealthy. Hey, the true. The true.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Are you locked up?
Yeah, we're locked up. Yeah.
Where are you locked up?
I'm always locked up.
I did, Miss Margie. I did put it up. I put it up again. Why are you locked up, sir?
No, you know me. I always gotta, you know, push little buttons and shit.
They finally got you.
No, they trying to, but they ain't get me yet. They trying to. You know how they be putting all them false privacies and fucking, you know, all kinds of shit.
Hmm. Wow.
I keep
Is it that?
asking. I keep telling them their own policy. They just ignore it.
Is it that serious? My God, today.
I'll be like, do you know that abusing the web form is against YouTube policy, but they just ignore it.
Wow. So are you like really like restricted?
They haven't answered me yet.
Okay.
Waiting for an answer.
Alrighty then. Have you familiarized yourself with this case?
Yeah, I have all the
I knew you
documents.
would. As soon as I sent you that message, I
I
said
have
he gonna get on it. I know he gonna get on it.
I have all the documents. I even sent you a picture of his
You
house
you
that he
did. You did.
for $190,000.
You sure did. I knew when I sent you that, even though I just came across it, like I was telling them, I was actually gonna do another case this morning, but I saw that in the midst of, what I'm saying, getting stuff on that case. I said, I got to do this. And then when I sent you that message, I said he gonna get on this one. I just know he is.
It took me a little while to dig up the PDF on the lawsuit though. It took me a
Yeah,
little bit, but I found it.
yeah. I appreciate it though.
No problem. No problem.
All right, so let's get into it. The truth. This is one that's just really to me.
Well,
I be trying. I be trying. I be really. Yours truly, what does Bad Boy 4 have to do with my live stream? Huh?
yours your yours truly has the attention span
Yes.
of a
No
of a
distractions on this channel. Yours truly.
she's got the
It
attention
is.
span.
I just have to explain, and I'm not upset. I'm not. I don't want her to think that because I love my yours truly. But it's really hard to stay focused on this type of content. It's hard. And when I get distractions in the chat, it really throws me off. It
She got
does.
she got the attention span of a gnat. You know that? It-
Don't be too hard on. Don't be too hard on my yours truth. We gotta
what
remember
what
now.
what? You gonna say, hey, stop it, stay on topic, and 10 minutes from now she gonna bring up some sandwich she ate yesterday or something.
She fucked me up that day. I was trying to do content, and she told the chat, she said, "Okay, chat, I need y'all to help me out." And she
Yeah,
like, "I'm trying
nah,
to choose my hair color."
yeah.
I'm like,
Like this is
"Really, yours truly?
your your
Really?"
your first. It's your personal panel in there to figure out what what hair color to use.
She makes.
What color panties should I put on today, ladies? Uh, pink, pink or blue?
I
Uh,
needed that laugh. I needed that laugh anyway. Thank you, yours truly. I needed that laugh today. I ain't gonna tell no word of lie. That girl crazy. She crazy. I'm telling you.
thong or
Whew.
granny panties? Which one?
All right, I'm finna press play. I'm finna press play, okay? I promise. All right. I don't wear panties, but press play. She got you. She got you. All right, Deetra, we're gonna get into this video about Nancy Grace. How do you feel about it? Do you like Nancy Grace?
No, because Nancy Grace is just a big mouth who exploits shit.
I think she do a little exploiting, I ain't gonna lie.
And
Cause I
even
was just telling them I like her, but then there's some things about her that I really can't, like get
even
jiggy with.
yeah, even if she gets it wrong, she don't go back and say she got it wrong.
Of
She,
course.
she just leaves it. But I got that. She don't say, "Well, I got that wrong." Well, here it is, and then she hones in on something like
Hmm.
like somebody family, and she just keeps like just she,
Oh, she could be very aggressive. Very.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yours truly getting the gang up on you, honey. You gonna get it on the next live, she say. Over at the T channel. True, did you get my message under your last live on this channel? I didn't. Let me go look at it right quick. Let me see what you said. Let me see Candy Corn. Hold on. On this channel. Okay. Oh, let's see. I don't even see my live.
Yeah, them men in the prison are enjoying old Todd there. I know that.
I don't even see my live on this channel from last time. Is it blocked? I hate YouTube, the app. I do. Let me see. I got a couple of shout outs too to give. I'm glad I got that notification. I gotta look. Is my live blocked, y'all? Hold on. It don't say it's blocked, but I don't see it when I go to my channel. All right. I'm getting the candy. Um
The agitator said that it's there.
what's that? The agitator. What do you mean?
Yours truly,
Oh, yours truly. Oh, okay.
the agitator.
Uh Candy, I don't see a comment. I see a comment from Cam. I see one from Tisha and I see one from Rice Cake.
She's talking
I don't
about
see one.
Ruby Frank.
You see one from Ruby Frank. I don't see
No,
all that.
no, I think yours truly saw the comment. She said she's talking about Ruby Frank.
I don't see it. Say I got four comments, but I can only see three. So Ruby Frank must be a troll or something.
No, 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 no. I think it's from Candy. You got Candy blocked.
How I got Candy blocked there and I see her in the chat?
I don't. Maybe
Well,
YouTube.
I see her on live stream.
Uh, YouTube may have took it down.
I mean, I see her on StreamYard. Hold on, let me see if I can see her in the chat on my phone.
Well, Candy, I don't have you
I see
blocked.
Candy in the chat. It's about the Ruby Frank case. Please look at it. Popular YouTuber gone wild. Okay. Thank you, Roslyn. I do too much, girl. Okay, Candy Corn, Ruby Frank. I got you, boo. But I don't see that comment on in my comment section. All right, YouTube will go wild, honey. That sounds like because I also got a story that I'm gonna do on a TikToker that was on the live as well. I got that in the vault too. All right, so y'all, let's get into this case, okay? You have to go to studio comments under hell comments. Thank you, Matt. Matt, you want to hit the link? Let me know and I'll drop it. Ruby Frank is an ex-mom tuber. Oh, I listen. That case, yeah. I'll look at it. I think I remember seeing that. I think I do remember seeing some stuff on that. Not yet. Okay. All right, y'all. So let's get into this, okay?
Breaking news tonight. A crack in the disappearance and dismemberment murder of a beautiful teen girl, Sade Robinson. Did the spoiled brat son of a Milwaukee millionaire lure Sade on a
Oh wow. Oh wow. So his parents are millionaire. Well, you know what? Hey Kimon, it's good to see you, baby. When I saw that wrongful death suit, I said they got to have some money, and I didn't even know. But you, like I said, like I was telling them, you the truth. You don't file a wrongful death case against a broke motherfucker. That you know.
Not unless there's other people involved, like the police
Right,
department or the town or somebody
right,
somebody else that fails, because you have to include the suspect. Even
exactly,
if you're going to sue the town or the police or ambulance or whoever, you got to
right.
include the person that caused the death.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know how that goes because he's he's 32.
33.
Yeah, 33. So
I don't. So are they actually like really able to sue his family, even though he did it?
well, if the house belongs to the family,
The house that it occurred in, they say allegedly.
yes, yeah, the house that it occurred in, which they found no evidence that it occurred there.
hmm
But if they can link any family homes to it, or they gave him the means to do it, meaning they support him or whatever.
Right. They had that, and that's what I thought. But we're gonna research and I'm find out for facts because they have filed the case, right? So I thought that as far as the law was concerned, the only way they would actually be able to sue his family if they had anything to do with it, maybe tried to hide evidence or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Not just cause he's part of the
If it
family.
if it occurred at the house and it's a wrongful death, they're suing the property,
hmm
the family and the property.
And they done sold the house, which is weird to me. And
I
it's weird to me that somebody will buy it.
Yeah, it's a company that bought it. Plus, it was sold
It's
under.
probably a parent company of their, when it comes to these millionaires and people having money, strange things start to happen.
Well, the company that bought the house said that they did disclose it, but they didn't pay any attention to it because the house was undervalued, meaning there was a lot of room. There was a quick sale,
It
so
was a quick sale. They wanted to get rid of their house.
well, yeah, I think they wanted to separate themselves from that house.
hmm
So,
hmm
but in the PDF of the lawsuit, it says why the uh, they're suing him, but he also may have claim to some of that money too. He
hmm
may be something to the family business.
You think?
Yeah.
All
Well, let me look. I'm gonna look at the papers now.
right. So let's listen to old Nancy.
date turned murder. Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories, and I want to thank you for being with us.
5:30 p.m., April 2nd, Cudahy police respond to a call along Lake Michigan. At Warnemount Park, a popular recreation area, a park goer reports finding a severed human leg.
Now, mind you, for those that's just joining and didn't hear me give a little overview of what this case is about. Sade Robinson. Okay, let me pull her up. This is the case of. I hate this. I hate my laptop. I really do. Hold on, y'all. This is the case of Sade Robinson and Maxwell Anderson. Sade Robinson, 19, Maxwell, 33. They went on a first date. On that first date, allegedly Maxwell unalived Sade and dismembered her body, spread her body along. Is it Michigan? Michigan or Milwaukee? They gonna say it. I think it's maybe Michigan. But anyway,
No,
dismembered her.
it's Milwaukee. Like
Milwaukee. Okay,
it's
dismembered.
many counties within Milwaukee.
Oh, okay. Dismember her body, spread her remains, spread them around, spread the remains around in this county, and set her car on fire. And people was finding her body parts, um, in different sections of the county. All right. So here we go.
According to a post from Cudahy Sheriff's Office, the limb was found in or near the water east of the golf course near the pump house. There are steep cliffs leading to the shoreline in that area, and large numbers of police canvassed the area and kept away golfers.
3 days after the Warnemont Park discovery, another call to police about a severed body part. 11 miles away from the shores of Lake Michigan in a Milwaukee West Side neighborhood, a body part is found at a playground. Within 24 hours, police respond to another call about the discovery of human remains. On Saturday, just a few blocks from the same West Side Milwaukee area as Friday's discovery, police set up a crime scene near a park. After a car is found on fire, paired with a pet tribute blanket found near some of the human remains, police begin to focus on a beautiful young teen girl, Sade. Listen.
Sade Robinson graduates with honors a semester early from Riverside High School. She continues her education at Milwaukee Area Technical College, working towards her associate's degree in criminal justice. In fact, she's only a month away from graduating. But Robinson hasn't been spending all her time in the books. She works through high school and college at the Pizza Shuttle on Milwaukee's Lower East Side. She makes such a difference at work that her coworkers say Robinson is considered the heart of Pizza Shuttle. Former owner Mark Gold says she is the type of employee who never calls out and is loved by customers and her coworkers.
You know, joining me is a very special guest along with an all-star panel. Seriously, the Brain Trust. But just hearing Holden Zappel speaking from crimeonline.com about Sade, she's everything you want your child to be. She's this fantastic student. She is working.
D-True, get them what you know about this case so far. I'm gonna find another video. I'm gonna find another one.
Yeah, she is over the top. So they had been planning this date for a little while. So they've been corresponding back and forth for a little bit. And then the day of the death, they came up with a spot to meet. The text messages go back and forth, and they met at an old job or a job that he had, and then all communication stops. And then they start finding body.
How long did they know each other before the date?
Well, the thing is it's the one of her coworkers said that she was excited about the date, that she had been talking to her about, this is going to be their first date. They had been talking for not long, but a little bit, and she was excited about the first date. And that, he's like, "Where are you going?" "Well, I don't know yet." So they didn't just bump into each other. They were corresponding with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see if they met on a dating app, but it doesn't say.
All right. Let's listen to this, y'all.
Where we are learning new details about the investigation into body parts found in Milwaukee County.
A severed leg was found on a beach on April 2nd, and it had been preliminarily identified to belonging to 19-year-old Sade Robinson. The Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office and Police Department did hold a news conference a little bit ago this morning.
Let's go into that press conference that happened just moments ago.
Morning, folks. I'm James Burnett, spokesman for the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office. I am here with Milwaukee County Sheriff Danita Ball, Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman. A little bit of housekeeping really quickly. You probably know this. If you don't, you probably should not be here. Sheriff Ball, DENITA BALL. Chief Norman, JEFFREYNORMAN. We good? Great. Okay, so we're here for a briefing on the an ongoing investigation for human remains that were discovered early last week, and again, all the subsequent information that has come after that. I have to tell you, this briefing may be brief because there are a number of questions we may not be able to answer. That said, Sheriff Ball, Chief Norman will give you what they can, and on that, I will hand it off to the Sheriff.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Today, we're going to give a brief update regarding the severed leg that was found and some of the human remains that have been found throughout Milwaukee County. As you know, on April the 2nd, at approximately 5:29 p.m., Milwaukee County 911 dispatch received a call from Cudahy Police Department regarding a severed leg at Warnemont Park. It was near the golf course and the pumping house. And so the leg was amputated from the around the hip down. And as a result, the leg appeared to be that of an African-American female. Subsequently, a Milwaukee police officer who was aware of our investigation raised the possibility that the leg may be related to a missing person investigation that they were conducting, and that missing person was Sade Robinson. So on Wednesday, April the 4th, our investigation led to a person of interest, Maxwell Stephen Anderson, who lives in the 3100 block of South 39th Street, where he was arrested after a traffic stop near the home. A search warrant was conducted. The severed leg has been preliminarily identified as belonging to Ms. Robinson. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the Robinson family, friends, and the Milwaukee community who have embraced this family. We are sorry for your loss. It's such a tragic incident. Our investigators have worked around the clock on this investigation. As a result of their diligence and with the help of our criminal justice partners, the District Attorney's Office issued charges today against Maxwell Stephen Anderson for first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, and arson of property other than building. He remains in custody. The Milwaukee County Sheriff's
his bond, y'all, is $5 million. That's his bond amount, from what I heard this morning, unless it's changed. His bond amount is $5 million.
Office would like to thank all of our partners involved in this investigation, specifically the Milwaukee Police Department, the Cudahy Police Department, the Kenosha Police Department, the Madison Police Department K-9 Unit, Great Lakes Search and Rescue K-9 Unit, the FBI, the ATF, the Department of Justice's Division of Criminal Investigation and their crime lab, the medical examiner's office, the district attorney's office, the Milwaukee County Transit System, Wisconsin Southern Railroad, the United States Coast Guard, forensic anthropologist Gordon Karsten, and other partners who may have helped in this endeavor. Your help was very invaluable. Again, we extend our sincere condolences to the Robinson family as they navigate this difficult time and mourn the loss of Sade. I'm going to turn it over to Chief Norman, who's going to talk about other parts of the investigation. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff Ball. First and foremost, on behalf of the Milwaukee Police Department, our hearts and prayers go out to the family of Sade Robinson. This is a horrendous tragedy.
I wish they would get her name right. Her name ain't Sadie, I don't think. I think it's Sade. I could be wrong, I don't know, but my God.
Above all else, we cannot imagine the pain that you must be going through. Please know that you have our deepest thoughts and condolences. Details of some of the Milwaukee Police Department's involvement can be found in the criminal complaint that was filed by the district attorney this morning. What we can share at this time is this. On April 2nd, Milwaukee Police Department investigated an arson at the 2800 block of West Lisbon Avenue. Video surveillance recovered from the arson investigation led investigators to search the area of 3000 West Galena Street. On Friday, April 5th, investigators located human remains in the area. On Saturday, April 6th, MPD continued the search in the area and located additional human remains on the railroad tracks. Later in the evening on Saturday, April 6th, MPD returned to the area when Miss Robinson's family located her blanket. At this time, detectives located additional human remains. The identification of human remains recovered by MPD are still pending. I repeat that. The additional human remains is still being looked at and the investigation is pending in regards to the identification of that. Please note, we continue to search for additional evidence that has not been located. Anyone with information is asked to contact Milwaukee Police Department at 414-935-7360 or to remain anonymous. Contact Crime Stoppers at 414-224-TIPS or P3 TIPS. We are grateful for the efforts of the Sheriff Department, the District Attorney's Office, and other federal and local law enforcement partners for their tireless efforts to gather facts and evidence in this case. Please remember, this is an ongoing investigation, and as information becomes available, we will do so in sharing it. And we also ask to please remember to respect the privacy of the family at this time and allow them to grieve. This time I'll turn it back over to Sheriff Ball.
So if you have some questions that we can answer, you can ask them now.
Just to clarify, so the severed leg has been confirmed connected to Robinson, but not the human remains found Friday, Saturday, and Sunday by the Milwaukee Police Department.
A preliminary.
Good morning, Natasha. Thanks for joining. It's a wrap. You know what? This is the thing. We don't know for sure, but this, I'm that person that believes that a person don't go from one extreme to the other if it's their first time. Like for instance, like somebody, I think somebody put it in the chat. It's one thing to unalive a person, but it's on a whole nother level to actually take the time out and the effort to dismember a body.
Okay, I got a spoiler alert.
Go ahead.
They did find blood in his house, which was not Sade's.
I saw that too.
And it wasn't his.
Mm-hmm. So, with that being said, the truth, what do you think about what I said about a person, if it's their first time, probably won't go to the extreme of dismembering the body?
Well, this was a panic kind of thing, but
mm-hmm.
and he was very sloppy because they were found too easily.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning it was too quick, and he wasn't really thinking because he was the last person to see her alive. So
And he had to know. Well, I don't know these dumbass, these you dummies that do things like this. No, I don't think they realize that with technology today and the fact that you're communicating with a person through electronics and all of that stuff can be traced. Everything can be traced, even your movements. I don't understand why they don't realize and recognize that and know that it's gonna lead back to you. You know what I'm saying?
so all right, just to give you a timeline, okay, just to give you a timeline of all the events, right?
Hmm.
Her friend on April 2nd walked into the police department to report her missing. That's April 2nd,
Hmm.
right? She did not show up for work on April 2nd. At 9 p.m., her friend reported her missing. On April 3rd, they went to her apartment to do a welfare check. They couldn't locate her. They talked to the maintenance man. He said the last time he spoke to her was on April 1st. They checked her social media. The last uh, thing put on social media was on Snapchat, and that was April 1st, and that was her at dinner at Duke's on the Water
Hmm.
in Milwaukee. The evening of April 1st, no further contact had been made with Robinson after that.
Hmm.
Upon hearing the discovery of a leg near Wilmot County to inform the reporter
So let
Robinson
me let me let
missing.
me stop you right there. So she wasn't reported missing by her family. She was reported missing by a friend
Her
who
friend,
knew she had the same friend that knew she had the date.
the same friend that knew she had a date, and she became concerned because she was not answering her calls or showed up for work.
Got you.
Okay, now this is April 3rd when they started doing the checks. That's when they found the car 2 days later.
Mm.
Now he could have disappeared at any time. Now, April 2nd is when they found her car on fire, but they had not traced it back to her
Hmm.
until the following day. And that's when the body parts started showing up.
Mm.
And then, according to her phone records, as well as similar timing, Robinson be reported missing, as well as the arson of vehicle, obtained records from Verizon service belonging to her. It should be noted AJ, as well as family members, confirmed that the number belonged to her. Detective report the record received for that included call detailed records, location records, as well as recent text messages. Upon
Hmm.
review of the text messages, located conversation between Robinson and a telephone number was the last text message in the records that contained outgoing messages from Robinson.
The
And
outgoing messages were to who?
they just put a number. They didn't.
Okay.
They didn't put a name. So
Okay.
this was on April 1st between 4:15 and 5:18 on April 1st.
Hmm.
Where are we meeting? I can do 5. Downtown somewhere. Okay. Brat House on 3rd. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to shower. This is from her. No, this is from him because her number is 414. His number is 262. I'm going to
Hmm.
shower and get and more around 5:15. Are you hungry? Need to stop at Twisted Fisherman to pick up my W-2 from last year. We can eat there first. Oh yes. Are we eating at the Brown House or the other place? So he says the Twisted place. I love seafood. Sounds good. I'm about to leave. I'll be there soon. This is from him. Just got to Twisted. Okay, are you inside? Yes.
Hmm.
So
So how did they end up at the Duke's place?
they went there after. I'm guessing Duke's
Gotcha.
is a bar because
Gotcha.
they met at the Twisted Fisherman because she says, "Okay, are you inside?" Yes. So that places her at the Twisted Fish place.
Gotcha. Okay. We
Reveal
still haven't determined that, Natasha. We still don't know how they met. The True trying to see if they maybe met online or something. We don't know yet.
Okay, let's see. That's his house. Went to located. Attempted to turn. It went to that location. Detective recovered surveillance video from Twisted Fisherman. Complainant has reviewed the video as well and has also reviewed booking photos of the defendant as well as photographs. The defendant enters Twisted Fisherman from the west. He faces clearly visible on exterior cameras. 5:20. Robinson enters the restaurant from the east, then approaches the bar and sits next to the defendant. The defendant remain at the bar eating and having drinks together until they leave the restaurant at 6:24. They both leave towards the east, which is the direction Robinson arrived from. Robinson is still wearing her coat, shirt. Multiple defendants wearing his hair in a ponytail. There's no cameras at Twisted that depicts the parking lot. So they do place them in that uh, in that restaurant.
Good morning, Slay. Have a good day at work, sweetie. Okay.
Okay,
All right.
so they do put them there, and he did tell them that he's meeting a female for a first date, and they
Mm.
knew that he was a former employee.
At the place, the Twisted place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay.
I'm
Is
still.
that the end of the time? So
Yeah.
after was that the end of the timeline?
Okay. So the complaint. Okay. So seeing the news stated that after she learned Robinson was missing, she accessed Robinson's Life 360 app on her cell phone. Complainant knows Life is an application that provides locations based on services, allows users to share their location with others. Stating that upon checking, she observed that Robinson's phone appeared to be in uh, uh, Wermont Park around 4:30 a.m. on April 2nd. That's where
Mm-hmm.
they found her car.
Thank you, E. Brooks. Mm-hmm.
So they actually show all the coordinates of where the Life 360 says she was.
Mm-hmm.
From 1705 to 1829, which is 5 to 6:30, it was at the fisherman place. At 1630 to 1830, the device traveled to another place, and that's when she went to Duke's on the Water. She was there from 7 to 9, and then from 9 to 9:30, the device traveled again to his house,
Wow.
which is West Oklahoma Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then it says 401 to 402, April 2nd, from 21 to 1248, near 40th Street and West Oklahoma Avenue, which is his house. Then at 1248 to 0130, the device traveled from there to Gordon Place from the area of Anderson's restaurant residence, northbound and eastbound to road adjacent to Pleasant Valley Park near Kern. So they're placing him where all the body parts were found.
Yeah, tracking them.
Yeah,
Track.
they're tracking her phone, so he had.
Yeah, he had her phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then the park, which is the area where the leg was found at 2 to 2:53. Then at 3:24 to 4:35, the device was stationary in a stretch of the Warnemont Park that it comes to look at where the leg was discovered.
Mm-hmm.
And then the device moved again to a Sheridan Drive and notes the battery of the device has died.
Mm.
So they could place her phone in all the places that her body parts were found.
Wow. And his dumb behind carried the phone with him to all those places where he was dumping her body. Does it say where the phone was initially found or was it found?
Okay, so it says the search warrant identifiers for the defendant was located, including packages addressed. Additional blood was located on the bedding in one of the bedrooms and on the wall leading towards the basement. Several gasoline containers were located in the garage storage area. Furthermore, the complainant knows of rise records for Robinson's phone number, which included decals. So they're just going over where he was again.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're doing a timeline. The phone remains in the area. So they found the phone in the park.
In the park. Okay.
Oh wait, well, 4:30, the phone begins to move northbound, and that's when the battery died. So they may not have found her phone at all.
Rosalind said the phone was found in the car, but the car was burnt up.
Yeah, well, the battery was dead, so he may have left it in the car, but it says
They tried to burn it with the car.
Yeah, the phone died at 4:40 a.m. in the area of East Howard Avenue, which is a consistent location where. But then they're saying that the footage of the arson detective obtained video from the transit traveling westbound, so that they're following her. It's her car that they were in. So he was driving her. He was driving her.
Oh, listen. So this is the thing. They went to the restaurants. We know they went to the Twisted. Then they went to the Dudes. Then they went to his house.
His house.
Left his house, which probably, allegedly, is where the crime occurred. But left his house, went to all of these places. So I'm just trying to figure out, which we probably gonna never figure out until the trial. Where did he actually unalive her?
They're thinking at the house because they did.
And that's what, yeah.
They did find a.
Because once he started making all those stops, I'm thinking at that point she's already unalive.
They do have a video of a white male wearing dark pants, a dark gray hoodie, carrying a tan colored backpack.
Where's that video at? Can I play it? What's it on?
They're saying that they obtained a surveillance camera.
On
a liquor store of the burning car and someone walking away.
Right, probably him.
From the car. So it's from a liquor store and food mart. Westbound upon reaching the
they did meet at the restaurant. He did not pick her up. Yeah, you're right, Rosalind.
Yeah, they met at the restaurant, and then he got in her car to go back to his house, which she probably felt safer because then she would have to drive him back to his car if he has a car or took a car.
I'm sure he had a car. All right, let's finish this press conference, this video of the press conference, and then we're gonna look at the charges. I got the charges pulled up. The truth, we're gonna go through the charges. All right, so let's play this.
Their investigation have shown that the leg is Miss Robinson's, and yes, the human remains have not been identified yet.
Are you looking into other missing women and reviewing those cases to possibly connect it to this case?
This is an ongoing case, and we have looked at other parts of the investigation to see if there are any others that could be linked. And so far, there hasn't been any evidence that there is any other victims.
Are you concerned that there could be other victims?
There hasn't been anything that is pointed to that right now.
Prosecutors are saying that this happened from the time that the two went back to Anderson's house, according to the criminal complaint, until the time that he paid to Warmont Park, which is a pretty wide time frame. Do we know when this killing happened and where it happened? Was it at the home? Was it in a car? Was it?
Now, what really gets me with these reporters, news reporters or whatever, they ask questions. Now, to me, honestly, I think they be experienced enough to know that certain questions they ask these people at these press conferences in these ongoing investigations are not going to be answered. And it irritates me that they continue to ask them, continue. Now, maybe she's going to answer this, but I don't think they're going to actually say where she was unalive, but we're going to see. Hold on.
Park, I'm a little unclear on that portion of the criminal complaint.
We can't. It's still part of the ongoing investigation.
And that's the typical answer. But yet they continue to ask these questions. It just really amazes me. Hold on, y'all. Okay, let me pull that up, Deidre.
Investigation, so we can't comment on that.
Do you know how she died?
Can't comment on that.
Or do we know how they met the suspect and the victim?
It's my understanding that they may have met at his place of employment, but right now we can't confirm that.
So that answers somebody's question in the chat. I saw it. I saw the question in the chat of somebody asking, how did they meet? D-Truth and I was thinking online, but according to her, the cops, they are thinking that they met him.
She's back. Give her a couple
Yeah, I
seconds.
went out.
Okay, yeah.
So, did y'all hear? I don't know how much of what I said y'all heard. So listen.
You were talking about how we thought they met online or maybe a dating app or something, but now they're saying that they may have bumped into each other at her job.
No, his job.
Or his job.
Yeah, his job. The Twisted. What is it called?
He doesn't work there anymore. So I think he has another job.
Well, the cop just stated, the sheriff, or is it the sheriff? Yeah. She just stated that they're thinking that they met at the place of his employment, which would have been that place. That Twisted place that they went to pick up his, W-2?
Yeah, but that's meaning the bartender says he was a former employee there.
Right.
Okay, let's see. It says, how did they meet? That doesn't answer.
Give him a second, y'all.
Well, they're saying he worked. Okay. As a bartender and security.
Oh, he was a bartender. Never mind.
Yeah, he worked at bartender. He does have past history of fights and stuff like that and criminal damage.
Of course. I bet you I bet you he got a history going back to his teens. You know about that spoiled brat syndrome. Come on.
2000.
Think about the Murdoch child. What was his name? The Murdoch boy that caused that boat accident.
Yeah,
They just those spoiled rich kids.
2019 battery, 2022 drunk driving. I'm thinking
Drunk driving.
in 2022 he had drunk driving. Uh, Domestic abuse in 2015.
Domestic abuse.
Fight
I'm telling you, this ain't his first
2014.
time doing something like this, D True. I just feel as though it's not his first time.
Has been concerned about his mental health and substance abuse.
There you go with that mental health thing.
So he worked at Victor's nightclub. Where,
Oh Lord, I can see this just being a whole mess.
yeah, he worked a number of jobs as bartender, security at several Milwaukee establishments. Most recently, Victor's nightclub, where I don't think he even had a job at the time. Most recently,
No, because he was picking up a W-2 form from a former job, which he had probably just lost.
the year before. Yeah, he was working there that last year, 2023.
Right.
He was picking up the W-2 form on April 1st.
I can see this just being a whole mess, a big mess.
And it goes back to criminal record 2014, which was a fight when he's visiting his family. Oh, okay. Well, this was definitely drugs. It says the police found Anderson acting strangely and sweating profusely. He would not answer his relatives' questions. He began screaming and throwing things and shut his relative in a room while he tried calling his father on the phone. When deputy arrived at the home, Anderson stole his relative's car and crashed it into a patio when he returned home. He got into a physical with another relative that resulted in relative breaking multiple ribs. Anderson ended up in the hospital with a broken collarbone. Believes he was under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Anderson was charged with 2 misdemeanors, disorderly conduct. He pleaded guilty, paid a $416 fine. The domestic abuse had been staying in a relative. So he beat up another relative in 2015. So that was 2014. In 2015, he beat up another relative and damaged $1,300 worth of property. He pleaded guilty to 3 of them: criminal damage, intimidating witness, and disorderly conduct, domestic abuse. He's placed on probation, required to pay fines, full-time employment or schooling, and complete any program deemed necessary. During this time, Anderson reported an address in Sister Bay, eventually changed the battery, which was dismissed. He was arguing with a woman, and Anderson then attacked the man, and video showed Anderson atop of him while punching him. The drunk driving was January. He blew the breathalyzer, showed a blood alcohol content of 0.145. The legal limit is 0.008. He blew a 0.145. He had an open container and he admitted to drinking alcohol. It was his second drunk driving offense. The first conviction coming in 2014. He pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor, placed on probation. In August of last year, cited for driving while suspended. That month, the court hearing, it reported Anderson testing positive for drugs, THC, and alcohol, and they put him on probation again.
Wow. Those paid lawyers. Money talks.
So he does have a history of violent outbursts. So,
Of course.
but he's not very smart.
Of course. Let's listen to the rest of this, y'all. Hold on.
I'll have identification of all of the remains that have been found. Can you confirm or not if there is any danger to the public?
At this time, we don't believe that there are any other victims out there and that the person who is responsible for this heinous crime has been arrested.
Are you still searching for remains for Ms. Robinson?
Of course.
Yes, we are.
Do you know where those remains could be?
No.
Have you found have you recovered a murder weapon in this situation?
Ongoing investigation.
Folks, we got time, interest of time, 2 more questions.
That answers or not answers another question I saw in the chat. Do they know? First of all, they don't know how she passed yet. But as far as a weapon, as far as the dismemberment, they're not gonna answer that. They're not gonna answer if they found it or not. They're not gonna answer that.
According to his arrest warrant, he used a saw.
We're gonna get into that in a minute when we get through with this right here. I'm gonna pull up the docs and we're gonna get into them.
Has there been a motive established?
I saw the truth.
That's all. That's all they can determine to her dismemberment.
And they can determine that by the ridges or whatever on her body.
Fantastic.
By the cuts, but
Yeah,
again,
the cuts.
once
The cuts,
if they can find her torso and upper parts, even her head, they will be able to tell whether she was choked.
Right.
Or
Thank you.
some other means.
Thank you, yours truly. Y'all listen, y'all make sure, I think the likes are like, let me check. Y'all be sure to hit the like button. Thank you so much for the likes. Also, feel free to support the live stream, okay? All right, let's finish.
Ongoing investigation.
What did you find inside that home, specifically in the basement?
Cannot release that at this time.
Is anyone else connected to the crime that will be more charges?
We have no evidence there's anyone else that's related to this offense, but we, as I stated before, it is an ongoing investigation.
When is the soonest that we can expect another update?
As soon as we get information.
Is he speaking with investigators? Anderson?
It's my understanding that he has retained a lawyer.
Is there anything you can say about the sex dungeon?
No.
All right, folks.
Just how could you describe the crime? I mean, you called it a heinous crime. Just how are your investigators doing having to tackle this right now?
Well, just to know that someone has, been dismembered in a fashion like that, our investigators, they want to find justice for the victim. And so right now, that's what their focus is on. But, any crimes like this, it's bound to, at some point in time, have an effect on those who are involved.
Sure, thanks, Chief. Thanks for your time. No promises, but there could be an additional briefing at a later date, sooner rather than later. If you have any follow-up questions, I wish I could tell you to call Sergeant Cornejo over there and not me, but call me.
All right, so there it is, that news conference today in Milwaukee, and the last question was, this is got to be very difficult for those involved in this identification of these body parts being found around the county.
Right.
And I'm glad they clarified that there's no indication that there are multiple victims. It's just the timing of positively IDing all of the body parts.
ID'd one part and not another.
Yeah, the leg and the rest is still pending, but there's no indication that there's other victims here.
Hey, Miss
Michael
Ann.
Jafer, there does seem to be.
It's definitely national news. Well, I'm not gonna say that because everything I've seen, as far as videos, it's been Milwaukee. So, but I'm not for sure, Miss Ann. I can't say for sure. I want to think, yeah, I want to think yeah, but I can't say for sure until because I just came across this morning, y'all. I got to do a lot more, and the truth has done way more than me at this point. But like I said, I got to do a lot more looking into it, and like I said, we'll probably today is Wednesday. When I come back Friday, we'll probably still be talking about this case because it's a lot to you know get out.
Enough, obviously, to charge this individual. They met at his workplace. It doesn't sound like they worked together. I'm not quite, we're not sure where he worked, but this was a first date turned fatal, according to the criminal complaint. Your thoughts here on what's next here?
You know what? I hadn't heard about it or seen it either, Miss Anna, to this morning. And the thing about it, the case is a month old. This has been going on for a month. She was unalived in April. Actually, two at this point, 2 months. So this has been going on for a couple of months, and I didn't know anything about it. Like I said, I was researching another case that I was gonna bring today, and it popped up, and I clicked it, and so it may not be national. I don't know.
And he's got a lawyer. What's next for both sides?
Case, because whenever police make the move that they make now, we were just analyzing this last week on another case. Whenever you see police make the moves that they're making now, they're pretty certain, right? That doesn't mean it's a guarantee that you're going to get convicted, but it does mean that it does guarantee you that they're confident in their case for them to make the move, right? And so this person basically now we're going to start seeing the evidence come out. The investigation is still ongoing, right? And so we really don't know the extent of the evidence, but they feel pretty confident to charge him. Obviously, right? Double jeopardy would apply if you charge somebody, you go to a trial and they get acquitted, right? I mean, then at that point, if evidence comes out later on, then they've already been acquitted. It's done, right? So they seem pretty confident. So the next steps are us basically just seeing it lay out there, and then they proceed with the charges.
This is such a difficult case, and I know a lot of women watching this are going to be reacting and having a lot of questions about how they met. I know they mentioned the workplace, but the criminal complaint says that she was excited about this first date with someone new, and there's the images, the surveillance video of her sitting at the bar with him, that they're laughing, things seem to be going good. How did things turn to this? But I think that possible date turned fatal element of this, Michael Jaffer, will be just an added thing that would be really hard for a jury to overlook if this case goes there.
We're in an era now where you can date anybody at any time and meet people online anywhere, right? And then you meet people. And so the overwhelming majority of those encounters do not end up in charred, dismembered remains laying around your community. They don't end that way. We all find out about the cases like this, which have a chilling effect on everybody else in society. And so everybody, you see this beautiful girl, right, and the pictures of her, right? This is going to resonate. And this is going to be the thing that, would taint a jury pool. This person either did it or didn't do it. Those are the only two options. He's either guilty or he either did it or he didn't do it. We're all going to be looking at the evidence to see, not only because we want justice in this case, but because we all have, daughters and we were sisters, who meet people online, and you don't want to imagine stuff like this happens. Again, it happens in the infinitesimal percentage of these encounters, but it happens, and it's a reminder that it happens. So we're going to be looking at this case closely for personal reasons and business reasons.
Absolutely.
These are the ones that just shock you to the core. Things that happen in life, and every now and then something comes up, and you're like, "Whoa!" It makes you think.
All right, let's see what this one talks
The
about.
crime that shocks the Midwest when a severed leg is found near a golf course along Lake.
All right, this is the. Can I get a mod to put the Law and Crime Network? Everybody know I love Court TV and Law and Crime Network are my go-tos as far as crime and justice. So if I can get a mod, if not, I'll do it myself to put the link to Law and Crime Network. They dropped this video a month ago, on April 18th, entitled "Deadly First Date: Scattered body parts lead cops to missing college student. Okay, we're gonna listen to this one, and then after this one, we're gonna get into the charges. On the next live stream, we're gonna get into the actual wrongful death lawsuit that the family has filed against this guy. Okay, and so yeah, let's listen to this, and then we're gonna get into the charges.
Michigan.
I just think it's just horrific.
Spurring a chase across Milwaukee with detectives on the hunt for more body parts.
You know, you just use the clues that you have. Why is there a leg here? How could a leg have gotten here? You know, what nefarious things could have possibly gone on here?
Quick investigative work leads to an arrest days later, and now the accused murderer is behind bars. But the case itself still brings up many question marks that could soon be answered.
I do expect just a lot of evidence to be put on to show that the police had reasonable suspicion and good grounds to believe that he actually murdered her.
The case takes us back to the start of the month when on April 2nd, a severed leg was found here at Warnemont Park in Cudahy, Wisconsin. That's just south of Milwaukee. Investigators noted the leg had pink nail polish and appeared to have been sawed off. According to a complaint, there were multiple cutting impressions around the amputation point, as well as sharp force trauma to the exposed femur bone. However, the top of the femur bone appeared to have been snapped off. The leg appeared to have been intentionally severed with a sharp instrument, including the bone being sawn halfway through. The leg wasn't decomposing yet either, meaning it had likely been dropped off in the recent past. Here's where we bring in trial attorney Affy Patterson to discuss the case. What are the first thoughts going through investigators' minds? How are they going to connect this to someone when all they have is a piece of a body?
So now apparently this video is before they actually link this crime to this guy. Okay, we're gonna listen.
I think, again, they did exactly what they were supposed to do. You know, they canvassed the area. They looked for any signs, any clues. I think I read in the affidavit of probable cause how a certain detective knew that area and knew in order to be in that area, you had to have special access. You know, there was a gate that prevented you from getting to that area. So I think they just, you know, they used every tool that they had, and, you know, they did a good job. You know, you just use the clues that you have. Why is there a leg here? How could a leg have gotten here? You know, what nefarious things could have possibly gone on here? You know, you think of that and then you take it from there.
From there, Met detectives began the investigation immediately. They started by getting surveillance video from nearby Cudahy High School that faces the park and the shoreline. Video showed a vehicle heading toward the drop-off location at about 2:53 a.m. on April 2nd. That same morning, the Cudahy Water Department reported that someone had rammed a vehicle into the gate. So detectives went to the scene and collected broken pieces from that vehicle. They were eventually determined to belong to a Honda Civic. Remember that make and model, it comes back later. But according to Affy, all this legwork was the right move.
Every department, every district is different. Every department has resources assigned to different priorities. But I think that absolutely they did exactly what they were supposed to do and what's customary. They canvassed the area. They looked for businesses and residential places that may have had video, which was really helpful for them. They just uncovered everything that they could, and I think that it seems that they spent a considerable amount of time very, very quickly looking into the situation, which is why they got the result they did.
So the same evening that the severed leg is found, investigators first hear the name Sade Robinson when a friend reported her missing at about 9 p.m. She worked at a Milwaukee restaurant called Pizza Shuttle, but didn't show up for her shift that day. The friend told police that Sade's last known location was at Duke's on Water, a sports bar near the Milwaukee River. Her Snapchat location was from the day before, on April 1st. About this same time, investigators are connecting the dots to a vehicle fire from the early morning hours of April 2nd. It was found on the north side of Milwaukee at about 7:30 in the morning, and the car was, you guessed it, a 2020 Honda Civic. Investigators later determined the car had been registered to Sade. In the trunk, they found the clothing she was wearing the evening of April 1st.
Wow.
A black puffer coat, light blue ripped jeans, and white socks, along with her dark grayish brown purse. They also found Sade's iPhone in the trunk.
Wow.
Initially, she had been reported missing, and then around the same time, part of these remains were recovered, and investigators kind of connected the dots. But at first, it was only that she may be associated with these remains. Why would it have taken so long for them to publicly say, yes, these are the remains belonging to Sade?
Because I think it's, you're going through an investigation and you want to cross all of your T's, dot all of your I's. So you don't want to just come out, we're so used to being in a place now the last, 8-9 years where we get information and, we just run with it and we take it to the public because, that's where we are with social media. Everything is at our fingertips. But I think that investigators and officers have a higher obligation, and they need to make sure that they've gathered the proper evidence and that they've gone through all the proper channels before they release information. And they also want to.
They would have spooked him.
Yeah, they would have spooked him, and they wouldn't have been sure. I mean, that question to me, honestly, you got to think about it before they could actually come out and say it was her. They had to do testing as well, right?
Well, they knew it was her because of the height, and they found the clothes. But if they released that they found her, they spook him. And they already, once they found her name, they already looked at her social media.
Social media. Mm-hmm.
They looked at her phone records. So they knew who they were looking for, but they didn't capture him yet, which means if you say her name out loud, if you
or even connected him at that point,
just keep her as a missing person. He thinks that they haven't located her yet.
Right.
So the whole leg thing would have spooked him too.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? By them finding the body parts, he knows that time is closing in on him.
Mm-hmm.
By finding the first body part, by finding the car, because the car goes back to her.
Yeah.
So he's getting spooked, but he hasn't put all the pieces together yet. He thinks he still has a little time.
Mm-hmm.
But by saying her name, then he knows he's the last person to see her alive.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the phone records, and he has the means to leave.
To
That's
get
what
away.
I'm saying. He's stupid because they didn't catch him for a couple of days. He should have been.
Yeah, and then it's not
gone.
like you say he didn't have the means.
He had the means.
Right.
He definitely had the means.
Mm-mm.
So by saying her name spooks them even more. You have to let them think they're getting away with it.
Right.
As they put everything together.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Killer. Good to see you. How you doing? How you doing?
But the media wants to immediately come out first. That's of course. That's the problem with the media.
Wants to be the first. Everyone wants to be the first to get the story out. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times they'll tell people, "Hey, please." They'll tell the media, "Please don't say it. Don't say the name. Don't connect the dots. We're still looking for the person of interest. We don't want them to know that we've connected this."
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the media listens. Sometimes they don't.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get back into this video, y'all.
Be sensitive to the family.
And it was really Sade's friends and family who helped in the investigation. They told police Sade used the Life 360 app that allows users to share their locations with other people. Upon checking Life 360, a friend observed that her phone appeared to be in Warnemont Park around 4:33 a.m. on April 2nd, 2024. And you'll remember that's where the severed leg was found about 13 hours later. What would all of that look like as far as investigators digging into the night that they did spend together? Because it was the first date, the first time that they were together, and then she was never seen again.
Yeah, and I think that they did a really fine job. If you look again at the affidavit of probable cause, I think they subpoenaed her texting information I don't know what company they use. I'm so familiar with Cellbrite. Everybody uses that, but I think that they put together a fantastic timeline, and everything was so detailed because of the data that they retrieved from her phone. If you look at the texting conversation, to me, it just seems like a simple conversation of two people getting together to meet out on a first date.
All this pushed the investigation into high gear, especially when investigators took a look at Sade's text history. There's a copy of the conversation in the criminal complaint. The 414 number, a Milwaukee area code, is Sade's number. The 262 number is the person she was meeting up with. Detectives later traced that number to Maxwell Anderson. More on him later. So here's what the conversation looks like. Sade starts it off. Where are we meeting? I can do 5.
You know what? Let me pull that up so y'all can keep up, because I got that, right, D-True? Don't I have that?
Yes, it's in the criminal complaint against him. It's page 4.
Okay, let me pull that up. Let's see. What? I don't know. You know what?
You want me to take a snapshot of it, or you got it?
You can, in case I can't pull it up the way I'm trying to. But I think, oh no, that's something else.
It is page 4.
Page 4.
It's actually the start of page 4.
Okay.
But I'm taking a snapshot of it now.
Oh, that's page 1, 2, 3, 4. Got it right here. All right, let me share. Let me blow it up a little bit. And then you can go through it, D-True. Let me blow it up a little bit. Oh, that's too well. Okay, here we go. Can y'all see that? I hope so.
All right. Now keep in mind these text messages are 4:15 to 5:18. 5:18 being the last part of it. So at 4:15, she texts him, "Where are we meeting?" I can do 5. Downtown somewhere. Okay. Bright House on 3rd. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to shower quick. I'll probably get there more around 5:15. Are you hungry? I need to stop at Twisted Fisherman to pick up my W-2 from last year, and we can eat there first. Okay. Yeah, and yes. Are we eating at the Brown House or the other place? Let's eat at Twisted. Yes, I love seafood. Sounds good. I'm about to leave. I'll be there soon. Then he put a bunch of emojis. And then just got to Twisted. Okay, are you inside? Yes, being 5:18 is the yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the last text messages that were sent.
All right, let's listen.
Downtown somewhere? Okay. Groth House on 3rd? Perfect. Okay, I'm going to shower quick. I'll probably get there more around 5:15. Are you hungry? I need to stop at Twisted Fisherman to pick up my W-2 from last year, and we could eat there first. Okay, and yes. Are we eating at the Brat House or at the other place? Let's eat at Twisted. I'm feeling seafood. Yes, I love seafood. Sounds good. I'm about to leave. I'll be there soon. And here are the last 3 messages. Quote, just got to Twisted. Are you inside? Yes. So through all this, detectives learned Sade and Maxwell Anderson are meeting up for a first date at this place, Twisted Fisherman in Milwaukee. Per the text conversation, we know Maxwell said he used to work there, and that's later corroborated with staff who spoke to Maxwell that night. He said he was, quote, staying at the Twisted Fisherman to meet a female for a first date.
You don't think that someone who is going to take you to a place where they were employed for a first date, you don't think that they would do anything harmful to you afterwards, right? I'm sure she felt like she was in a great and safe space.
Surveillance video from Twisted Fisherman shows Maxwell enter the restaurant at 5:09 p.m. on April 1st. 11 minutes later, Sade walks in and sits next to him, and together they leave at 6:24 p.m. To figure out the rest of their movements, detectives went back to Sade's phone. After spending time at Twisted Fisherman, Sade's phone traveled to the area near Duke's on Water, the same place her friend saw as her Snapchat location. From there, Sade's phone travels to a residential area in southwest Milwaukee. The phone pings in the exact location of Maxwell Anderson's home. Hours after that, the phone pings at Warnemont Park, where the severed leg was later discovered.
They did a fantastic job.
Hold on. Now, he didn't plan to do this.
Say that again, because I went out. You said you think he planned to do it?
No, he didn't plan to do this.
Yeah, I don't think so neither. I think maybe, to be honest,
something
I
happened
think that
in that house.
let me tell you what I think. To be honest, even though she went back to his house, maybe she did not want to sleep with him.
No, that something happened at that house. Something happened that infuriated him. Something happened. Remember, he's
and to be honest, or to be fair, whatever he did to her initially, he may not have meant to kill her. You know what I mean?
I don't think so. Everything, because first off, he didn't mean to, this was not planned.
It was too public. He went to his old job.
Yes, you showed up at an old job where they know you.
Right. And saw you with her.
Yes, and he says in the text messages that the police are going to see that I need to pick up my W-2. The first thing that they're going to ask the guy, did somebody pick up a W-2 here? Oh, yeah. Maxwell did. Yeah, he came by. So this wasn't planned. This was a crime of passion.
Something like that. Yeah.
Which hence for the charges that are against him.
Mm-hmm.
The first degree intentional homicide.
We're gonna get into that after this video.
Yeah,
Calm.
see, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, okay. But I'm just saying, this is a crime of passion. Something happened in that house. He didn't plan this. He was going on a first date, probably in hopes that, hey, we could get together, things like this. So this wasn't him luring her somewhere to do this.
Right.
There's too many stupid things that were done that would automatically point to him.
Right. It was too public.
Yeah, too public, and he had to know that the text messages were there. And he said things that would specifically identify him, that could be proven to be him. Now, he could say somebody stole his phone and lured her, but he showed up at the restaurant for his W-2 form.
Exactly. Right.
So he can't use that lie. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Here's more of the video, y'all. It's almost done.
To where she was at the first location.
Stop me if you need to, be true.
Location, the second location, his home, and where her we don't know if the phone was necessarily with her, but where her phone was until it was discovered.
Witness the lies.
I didn't lie to you on that polygraph, I promise.
The cover-ups.
I could see his brain.
Hold on, y'all. This is not a commercial, but what they do to advertise.
The moments they confessed.
I grabbed one of the kitchen knives. I killed it.
Outrageous police interrogations.
I know, I forgot the head. I wanted the head.
You have to see to believe.
Oh my God.
Law and Crime Interrogations. Subscribe today.
On April 4th, investigators take Maxwell into custody at a traffic stop and execute a search warrant for his home. Inside, blood was located on bedding in one of the bedrooms and on the walls leading toward the basement. Several gasoline containers were located in the garage/storage area. 2 days after all this, on April 6th, investigators find a human foot and flesh in northwest Milwaukee. Investigators determined this foot and the leg found at Warnock Park appear to be from the same individual, particularly due to skin tone, size, and having matching pink nail polish. It's important to note the foot and the flesh were found about 1 block from where Sade's burning car was recovered days prior. It's also important to note Maxwell Anderson was caught on bus surveillance video in the area near the burning car just after it was first reported.
Left in her car from the restaurant to his house, and then later is caught on camera on the bus. Hence, him leaving the car and setting it on fire.
According to the criminal complaint, he was wearing the exact clothing depicted on the subject fleeing the scene of the vehicle arson, including the large tan backpack with tan straps. But at this point, we still didn't know Maxwell's name. We as the public knew about this case, knew that the remains had been discovered, someone was in custody, a person of interest, but no charges had been filed. So why would it take so long from the point that he was detained to when he finally was charged?
You know, again, it depends. You know, when you're detained, you can be detained for a certain period, for an investigatory period, but you have to go before a judge within a certain amount of time and be charged with a crime. So I did not read the fact that he was detained for 1 week. Usually it's 48 hours, for a felony, 24 hours for a misdemeanor before you go before a judge. So I don't know if he was detained and he was held maybe on, I don't know if he's had any prior charges. Maybe he was held with a probation violation or something of that sort. But usually it's 48 hours for felony. But again, you know, I think within that week, investigators had time to cross their T's, dot their I's, and do all the investigating that they needed to do to be able to get something that would stick, get a charge that would stick.
Maxwell was finally charged on April 12th. And the charges that he faces right now are first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, and then arson. Are these appropriate charges? Could he face additional charges?
Oh, absolutely, they're appropriate charges. Absolutely.
And is it possible that they add charges in addition to what he already faces?
They can always add charges. You know, there are always things that you can uncover as you investigate, and they're going to continue their investigation. So absolutely, charges can be put on at any time.
From here, there could still be more investigative work ahead. Is it possible that additional parts of the body could be found around the area?
It could be found anywhere. It's so frustrating, you know, just thinking about it and talking about her as a leg and as body parts. You know, it's frustrating because, you know, we've all been young, or we know young people who, you know, you just hope for the best for them, and, you know, to just have them reduced to a leg, it's kind of frustrating. But yeah, body parts could be anywhere. And again, I'm sorry, it's just really upsetting to hear and to just talk about.
And while the nature of the case is gruesome, Affy doesn't believe that will slow down investigators. I think another difficult aspect of this case is that she was dismembered, that different remains were found in different locations. So is that going to make things more difficult in terms of deciphering how she was killed or where and when?
I don't think so. You know, when you leave it up to the coroner to determine how she died, time of death, I think it'll be fine. I don't think the dismemberment is going to be an issue. You know, but of course, the more information you have, the better. But no, I don't think it's going to be an issue.
But we're still unclear why any of this happened at all. How important in a case like this is motive and determining what led up to Sade's murder?
And, thank goodness motive is never an element of a crime. I think when you have jurors always want to know because, they're human beings, we're all human beings. Why? Why would you do this? What was going through your mind? Was there some sort of mental illness or had you already been planning this? Had you done this to other people? We always want to know what the motive is, but it's not an element of the crime, so it's not going to play a role in his prosecution. But of course, it's nice to have a motive to be able to explain something to a jury, or his defense team might want to emphasize a lack of or the absence of a motive. But again, it's not an element of a crime.
You mentioned his defense team. What sort of defense could Maxwell Anderson have in a case like this?
Insanity, or it wasn't me.
How would his defense go to prove either of those things?
So let's say if not guilty by reason of mental infirmity or insanity, you would have to prove that there's some sort of diagnosis. At the time that he committed the crime, he did not have the capacity to understand what he was doing. He had some type of mental disease or defect. You'd have to prove that. You probably want to look into a history of, to see if he has a history of mental illness, or see if he can get a mental health evaluation, maybe be diagnosed with some sort of mental illness.
Bullshit.
I don't like to
Bullshit.
just argue that, of course, it wasn't him, but there's so much.
Bullshit.
But it's going to be used, right?
He tried to hide the crime.
He did, but it's going to be used, right?
So he knew he did something wrong.
Exactly.
So you can't use mental defect if you're aware that you committed the crime and you're trying to conceal the crime.
Mm-hmm.
That means that you were aware of your actions and you are aware that your actions were wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy people don't go to this length to hide the crime.
Sometimes crazy people stay right there and have the body right in the house and pretty much, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But like I said, the truth, we're going to keep watching, but I guarantee you they're going to try it.
Yeah, they're going to try it, but I don't think they can. He's going to plead out.
You think so?
He's going to plead out because he has no defense.
Come on now. We've seen cases.
He's going to say he's not. He's going to say he's not guilty, but he's not going to use insanity. His defense would be stupid to use that because there's too many indications.
Because I've seen cases where I've seen cases where the person was dismembered. The sick person dismembered the body, and then would turn around and say, "Well, I did it. It was an accident. I did it. It was an accident, but I panicked, right? I panicked and I did this to conceal, but it was the actual unaliving was an accident."
Well, yeah, again, hence the criminal charges against him.
Okay, well, let's get through this video so we can get into it. Because I got feeling you want to go deep into that. Okay, let's go.
Much overwhelming evidence that shows that it was him. So I think that would be a challenge for his defense team. But those are the only two defenses I can think of right away.
We don't quite know why, but what about the how? Another question mark we have in the case right now is the murder weapon. We know, according to the criminal complaint, that parts of Sade's body appear to have been sawed off, but we don't have any sort of weapon right now. Is that going to be something really important for the prosecution to present in the case, or does it even matter?
It does matter, but I don't think you need a murder weapon to get a conviction.
You don't need a murder weapon, but they do want to determine what that murder weapon was. May never find it, and people have been convicted without the actual murder weapon being found. So, yeah.
You don't always need a body to get a conviction. So it's a matter. It may be something that's of benefit to his defense, but at the end of the day, I don't think it matters.
But it's likely there are things about this case we still don't know yet. And being from Wisconsin myself, I've actually heard some off-the-record information about this case from multiple different people. This hasn't been made public, but I have seen other news stations locally in Milwaukee reporting similar things. Allegations that there may have been a sex dungeon in his basement, that the room may have been soundproofed, things like that. Not confirmed yet, but some people are talking about it. Is this information that we could expect to see at a prelim?
Absolutely. And it's so interesting that you say that, because when I was reading this, my thoughts were, who has come before this young girl? You know, who has he victimized before? So it makes so much sense that you say that he's got a sex dungeon, and maybe he lures young women to his home for whatever private practices he has. But that makes so much sense that you say that.
And I am wondering too, in that vein, this is pretty severe to go right to murder and then dismemberment.
That's what
so
I
as
said.
you were saying, there could have been prior women or men he had victimized before this. So is it possible that seeing his name or his photo across Wisconsin, that these people would come forward with additional information?
Absolutely. And not only that, I think that it's going to trigger thoughts. People might say, oh, he's a pretty good guy. We would never expect anything of him. And then you might start thinking, wait a second, he does have like these odd habits. He has these odd patterns. He has, these odd proclivities that I pretty much dismissed as, that's just him. But no, maybe it triggers you to think that, hey, maybe it's a little bit more. Maybe I'll come forth. Maybe I'll talk to the officers. And maybe that can help this investigation.
And next week, he's due in court for his preliminary hearing. What could we expect there?
So a preliminary hearing is just when you basically have the investigating officers, and you may have some witnesses, and you testify and you just discuss basically the evidence that you have against that person. A preliminary hearing is what we in some places call a probable cause hearing. And basically the court makes a probable cause determination to say that, yes, this person can be charged with a crime, or these charges will stick. We can try this person. So I do expect just a lot of evidence to be put on to show that the police had reasonable suspicion and good grounds to believe that he actually murdered her.
Maxwell Anderson is set to appear Monday for his preliminary hearing. For now, he's being held on $5 million bond. Reporting for Long Crime, I'm Sierra Gillespie.
All right. I thought that was a good video. All right, so each of you ready? We're going to get into this criminal complaint, y'all. And then we're going to call it a day until Friday.
Okay. I don't agree with anything that was said towards the end about a dungeon or luring women, because he did nothing to hide who he was. Nothing.
Right.
The other problem I have is the Long Island serial killer, he would keep his back to the public. So he would find a corner table when he's taking these women out. He would keep his back to the people. He would always have a hat on. He would keep his head down. He eluded police for 12 years. He was killing the women at his house while his wife and children were away on vacation.
Yeah.
So this guy did nothing to tell me that he may have done this before, because he has a history of violence. Okay, he has a history of violence towards his family. He has a history of violence when it comes to confrontations. So he has a history, and he also has a history of alcohol and drugs.
Yep.
The whole combination of the perfect storm. Okay, so let's get into this. Now, Wisconsin has first-degree murder, first-degree intentional homicide in Wisconsin is second-degree murder.
Okay.
Which means he did not set out for the intent to kill this woman, but he knowingly killed her.
Okay.
So there was no premeditation to kill her, but he knowingly killed her. See what the difference is? He didn't set out in the morning. He didn't set a plan.
He didn't set that date up to
Yes.
kill her.
Yes, he didn't set the plan in motion to
Right.
lure this woman to her death, which would be premeditation.
Mm-hmm.
But they are saying that he intentionally killed this woman. That's why it's first degree intentional homicide, which is life imprisonment.
Mm-hmm.
The mutilating a corpse is usually to conceal the crime. Then, of course, they're getting him for arson, also because he willingly burnt someone else's property. So, the whole thing that now people are coming up. There's a dungeon in his home, and he may have done this before because of his acts of violence.
Mm-hmm.
So right now they're going through the database to see if there is other dismembered women that may have come in contact with him. So they're checking to see his jobs, his past jobs, and if any of those women that they have discovered being dismembered may have come across his past jobs. Now, they did say in one of the news things that they did find blood in his house.
That's the thing, though. They can't connect it to her.
But it wasn't her blood.
Right.
So there may be another location that he has. Now, the timeline says that he was in that house
before he started making all those stops.
Well, yeah, he was in the house for over 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Because it says he went in there at 9, or actually more. He didn't leave until 12:48.
Mm-hmm.
So he was there from 9:30 something, almost to 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a while to dismember, and they could tell how long it took by the manner in which it was dismembered.
Mm-hmm.
So something happened within the first hour of them being in that house.
I'm telling you, I don't know. Listen, now, one would say that if she did, one would say that if she wasn't going to sleep with him, she wouldn't have went back to the house. But not necessarily, because I mean, she could have agreed to go back to the house, not necessarily, intending on sleeping with him. And maybe, in my opinion, he tried it and she wasn't with it. You know what I'm saying?
He could have used any excuse. Hey, can you we're by my house. I need to pick something up.
Yeah, because they were in her car.
Yeah, it could have been anything. Hey, I need to stop by the house real quick. My house is right there. Can we stop by the house real quick?
Mm-hmm.
I need to pick something up. See what I'm saying? There's many reasons. It doesn't have to be to to take her back and try to have it. His mind might have been, let me go back and see if I can get some. But her mind is, I'm just gonna go pick the stuff up, and I'm gonna take you back to your car.
Mm-hmm.
But by all accounts, they were having a good time. Well, they have. Oh, the only thing they found is the leg and the foot, and some pieces. But they
what? Questions. The thing about it is, like, if he actually did that, that would be okay. So let's think about it. So if he actually sexually violated her, and that, to me, honestly, would give him a reason to unalive her, because okay, so he committed the act of rape,
mm-hmm.
and So in order to cover that up on his brain and his mind, he needed to do what he did. So that could be a possibility.
But you want to know something? His other crimes are also a telltale.
Let me read a little of this so you can get into that. Let me read this. So
Mhm.
count one. These are his charges, y'all. Count one, first degree intentional. Intentional means a lot. Intentional homicide, right? The above named defendant on or about Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024, in Milwaukee County, Wisconsin, did cause the death of Sade C. Robinson, another human being, with intent to kill that person. Intent to kill that person, contrary to Wisconsin stats. Upon conviction for this offense, a Class A felony, the defendant shall be sentenced to imprisonment for life. Count two is mutilating a corpse. The above named defendant on or about Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024, in Milwaukee County, Wisconsin, did dismember a corpse with the intent to conceal a crime, contrary to, and it give the, y'all know it give the penal codes, contrary to Wisconsin stats. Upon conviction of this offense, a Class F felony, oh wow, the defendant may be fined, and this only carries a fine, wow. The defendant may be fined not more than $25,000 or imprisoned not more than 12 years and 6 months. So that's also a very serious offense. Count three, hold on, X question said, being or truth, you are always, yeah, we are always. It's weird. So count three, arson of property other than building, which means the car, right? So the above named defendant on about Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024, 1819 North 29th Street in the city of Milwaukee, Milwaukee County, Wisconsin, by means of fire, did intentionally damage the property other than the building, which is the car, of Sade C. Robinson, valued at $100 or more, without that person's consent, according to Wisconsin stats. Upon conviction of this offense, for this offense, a Class I felony, the defendant may be fined not more than $10,000 or in prison not more than 3 years and 6 months, or both. Probable cause complaining is a law enforcement officer with the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Department. It's just saying that the person that filed these charges is a Milwaukee officer. Um, let's read this, y'all. Discovery, and this goes into what they discovered, y'all. So, discovery of a severed human leg in Warnock Park. On Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024, around 5:29 p.m. So, the truth, this is because see, the remains were placed in the early morning hours, and they wasn't actually discovered into the evening, right?
Yes, he did it over April 2nd at
Overnight,
between 1 a.m. and 4:30 a.m.
right. So, members of law enforcement, including the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office and is that Cudahy Police Department, responded to Warnermark Park, located at 5800 South Lake Drive, to a report of a human leg located on the beach. First responders were led by the citizen who called the police to the leg. Responding deputies located the right leg of what appeared to be a black female. The leg was severed just below the hip socket and appeared to have been sawn off. The toes on the feet, had pink nail polish. The leg did not appear to be decomposing, which meant it wasn't just there for a long period of time. It was actually recently placed there the night before. All right. Deputy Leon Martin was one of the first responding sheriff's deputies. Deputy Martin spoke to EM, who discovered the leg. EM stated, okay, so they didn't want to disclose the person that found it, huh? I think that's cool. EM stated he was meeting his friend at the park. EM stated him and his friend he and his friend were walking towards the beach slash water and then saw the leg just north of the Wanamac Park, the Wanamont Pump House at the shoreline. Deputy Martin reports that the area where the leg was located contains a bluff that is approximately 100 feet tall. The leg was originally found about two-thirds of the way down the bluff towards the water's edge. Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office Detective Nathan, what is that, Spittlemeister, searched the area of the park for any cameras that may have captured something related to the discarding of the leg. The detective located a video from Cudahy High School that shows the parkways nearest to the pump house at the shoreline. The road that leads to the pump house is closed to vehicle traffic by a gate secured with a padlock and chain. The video footage shows at approximately 2:53 a.m. a vehicle entering the video frame heading eastbound on the parkway towards the road to the pump house. The video shows that the vehicle did not make a southbound or northbound turn once reaching the intersection nearest to the service road. The vehicle disappears from the video footage, consistent with the vehicle driving down the road that leads to the pump house. Complainant knows this service road to the pump house would be the furthest that a car could go to get near Lake Michigan in that area. The detective spoke to the police detective Brian Olson, who informed the detective that on the morning of April 2nd, 2024, employees at the water department reported that the service gate had been struck by a so he hit the gate. What do you think he was drunk?
No, he needed to get closer to the water, and he would have had to walk. And first
Okay.
he would have had to climb
But
over
even
the
if he
fence.
even I get that he couldn't take the car in, but hitting the gate.
Well, because he would have had to climb the fence with the leg or
Oh
other
wow.
parts, because you
Oh
don't
wow.
know if it was just the leg that he threw there, because they haven't found the other parts. He may have went further down and got closer to the water to throw some.
He may have put it, and that's the reason why I saw earlier in the video that I think they were searching the water as well.
Now remember, it
So
says it's a bluff, which is
yeah,
100 feet, which means he threw it
yeah,
off the bluff, and that's where it landed.
yeah. Um, the damage to the gate was done after the evening of April 1st and before the morning of April 2nd, which coincides with their whole timeline. This is consistent with when the vehicle is seen on video driving onto that service road. Detective Joseph Blanker from the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office went to the pump house gate and recovered broken pieces of her vehicle, that were determined to belong to a Honda Civic. These damaged pieces would be consistent with the vehicle ramming the gate to get through. Detective Spider, I don't know what that meant. The Spidermeister also recovered video from the pump house that faces north, in the direction of where the severed leg was recovered. At approximately, I can't even talk, y'all. This is just, oh my God, this is ridiculous. 3:02 a.m. 3:02 a.m. A human figure can be seen descending the bluff to beach level. This figure appears to make multiple attempts to walk between the beach and the service drive for the pump house. At 4:31 a.m., the vehicle that entered the closed gate leaves and ultimately leaves the park heading westbound.
Now
The
remember,
lake
he
was.
he he descended up and down a few times.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he got closer to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
So some she may be in Lake Michigan.
That's what I'm thinking. The other body parts that they're searching
Mm-hmm.
for. The
Mm-hmm.
leg was recovered and transported to the Milwaukee County Medical Examiner's office and was examined by Dr. Lauren Decker. During that examination, based on the size of the leg, Dr. Decker estimated the height of the person to be about 5 feet tall. There were multiple cutting impressions around the amputation point, as well as sharp force trauma to the exposed femur bone. However, the top of the femur bone appeared to have been snapped out. So that means he cut through, and instead of cutting all the way through, he cut through enough to snap it. The leg appeared to have been intentionally severed with a sharp instrument, including the bone being sewn halfway through. Okay, so this is the portion that's talking about her being reported missing, y'all. And let me put this up one more good time, because I'm getting triggered just by reading this mess. So let me put this up. Oh, Lord have mercy. At about 9 p.m. on April 2nd, 2024, a walk-in report was made by AJ. They're concealing her identity as well. This is the friend, y'all. The friend that reported her missing. Um, AJ reported that her friend Sade C. Robinson had not been returning AJ's calls and had not shown up for work. AJ provided a phone number for Robinson, and it's put the phone number, and reported she lived at such and such Commerce Street, apartment such and such in Milwaukee. On April 3rd, 2024, Milwaukee police officer Nora Burlow responded to Robinson's apartment to it, and listen, she reported it on the 2nd, and they went out on the 3rd. That
So
was cool.
so
That
look
was
at the
cool.
look at the date. She reported on the 2nd.
Yeah.
That night, the next day, the 3rd, they sent somebody out. This
Yeah, that was
happened.
cool.
This happened on the 1st to the 2nd.
Right.
So she's missing that much,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
that's and so they haven't put it together yet.
Right.
So they know the car, and they found the leg on the 2nd.
Right.
That evening on the 2nd, she was reported at 9 p.m. after the leg.
After.
So they don't have a name yet until 9 p.m.
Hmm.
And
See,
they had
when she was reported, they had already started finding the body part.
yes, they already had
So that's why.
the
That's
leg
why.
and the
That's why
foot.
it didn't take long to connect the two.
Yes, because they have a leg and a foot.
Hmm.
So they have not put the two together yet as of
Right.
9 p.m. going to the 3rd, because they hadn't been out to her house yet. It wasn't until the 3rd that they put it together.
Yeah. When that friend reported her missing. On April 3rd, 2024, Milwaukee police officer Nora Burlow responded to Robinson's apartment to conduct a welfare check and was not able to make contact with Robinson. So at 19, this young woman had graduated high school early, was in college, and had her own apartment. My God, today. Jesus be offense. AJ further reported to investigators that the last known activity of Robinson was a Snapchat that AJ viewed, showing that Robinson was at on Duke's on the Water, located at such and such Avenue in Milwaukee, on the evening of April 1st, 2024. No further contact had been made with Robinson after that. Upon hearing of the discovery of the leg in the near the park, the officer contacted the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office to inform them of the report of Robinson being missing, as well as the vehicle fire. Complainant knows through contact that the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office has had with Robinson family and friends that Robinson is about 5 feet tall. Complainant knows that Robinson's listed height with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation is 5. She was only 5 feet, a little bitty thing. Officer Bolo, as well as Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office Detective Joseph Blanker, made contact with employees of Robinson's apartment building. Wait a minute. Oh, her apartment building. Okay, I'm thinking his house, but she lived in an apartment. Okay, the apartment's maintenance employee EF indicated he had last seen Robinson on April the 1st, 2024. Another employee, building secretary CAS, reported that she would frequently see and speak with Robinson, and Robinson told CAS she was really excited about this date. She was excited for a date she had the evening of April 1st. She was excited about the date that she had on the evening of April 1st. Detective Joseph Blanker also reviewed video surveillance footage from the apartment and said footage depicts Robinson leaving the building around 9 a.m. on April 1st, 2024. Robinson is wearing a black puffy coat, a white shirt, light colored blue jeans with multiple tails in the front, and white shoes. This next part talks about the discovery of her Honda Civic, y'all. Furthermore, on April 2nd, 2024, at about 7:32 a.m., members of the Milwaukee Fire Department responded to such and such 29th Street for a vehicle fire. First sustained First responders located a 2020 Honda Civic with constant registration. Da da da. The vehicle has sustained extreme fire damage, completely damaging the interior of the Civic. A check of that vehicle registration revealed that the vehicle belonged to Robinson. Items of Robinson's were discovered in the vehicle, as will be described later in this complaint. Complainant states on information and belief that this vehicle is worth more than $100. Now this next part, you want to say anything before I get to the next part? D True.
No, go ahead. Finish reading.
Okay, so the next part talks about her phone records, y'all. The phone records. In response to the discovery of the human leg at the park, as well as the similar timing of Robinson being reported missing, as well as the arson of Robert's vehicle, Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office Detective Matthew Verdehy obtained records from Verizon Wireless, the servicer for the number belonging to Robinson. It should be noted that AJ, as well as family members of Robinson, confirmed that number belonged to her. Detective Verdehy reports that records were received from Verizon that included call detail records, location records, as well as recent text message content. Upon review of the text message content, Detective Verdi located a text conversation between Robinson and the telephone number 262-416, and that's his number, I'm calling it out, 4874. This was the last text message conversation in the records that contained outgoing messages from Robinson. The conversation occurred between about 4:15 p.m. and 5:18 p.m. on April the 1st, and it reads as follows. And we already went through that. That's the conversation. Detective Verdi, he searched law enforcement databases, which showed an association between the 262 number and Maxwell X. Anderson, the above named defendant. So that's basically saying that's his phone number. Furthermore, upon checking Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office booking records, the defendant provided that phone number to the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office during a booking process in April 2023. So he had provided his phone number to cops when he was arrested in 2023. Investigators then checked Wisconsin Department of Transportation records, which revealed the defendant's listed address is such and such, such and such. I ain't gonna call out his address. Um, Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office Detective John, what is that? Galot responded to Twisted Fisherman. That's that old job, right, D True, where he went to go pick up the W-2.
Yeah, and where they had dinner.
Mm-hmm. Located at such and such Canal Street in Milwaukee, to attempt to determine if Robinson went to that location. Detective Galot recovered surveillance video from Twisted Fisherman Complainant had reviewed that video as well and has also reviewed booking photos of the defendant as well as photographs of Sade Robinson. The video shows in sum as follows. At about 5:09 p.m. on April 1st, 2024, the defendant Maxwell enters the Twisted Fisherman from the west. His face is clearly visible on the exterior cameras of the restaurant. At 5:20 p.m., Robinson enters the restaurant from the east, then approaches the bar and sits next to Maxwell. Maxwell and Robinson remain at the bar eating and having drinks together until they leave the restaurant at about 6:24 p.m. They both leave towards the east, which is the direction Robinson arrived from. That's when they went to her car. Robinson is still wearing a black puffy coat, a white shirt, light color blue jeans, multiple tears in the front, white shoes. She is carrying a dark grayish brown purse. Is that what we saw him carrying? Hold on.
No, he has a backpack on.
Okay, that's a purse. That's a backpack. Come on.
Yeah, he's got his backpack. The purse was found in the car.
Okay, the defendant is wearing his hair in a ponytail, a red flannel coat with a gray hood, and a black t-shirt with Carhartt written in white across the chest, as well as dark jeans. There are no cameras at Twisted Fisherman that depict. I don't understand how that restaurant ain't got no camera. Oh, in the parking lot. Okay. All right. Detective Gillard, when recovering the video, spoke to the owner of the restaurant, RD. I respect the fact, even though it's going to eventually come out who these people are, that they just put in initials in this report. Who stated that he knew the defendant as an ex-employee. Detective Gillard also spoke to JR, one of the managers of the Twisted Fisherman. JR viewed the surveillance video and identified the male suspect with Robinson as the defendant, Maxwell, who JR knew as a former employee, and further stated the defendant came in to get his W-2, consistent with the text conversation the defendant had with Robinson. If he don't plead out, he's an ass. Detective Gillard also spoke to BC, who was the bartender who served the defendant. Now, why are they serving her? Do they not ID? She was on the 19.
It doesn't mean that he served her alcohol. It just means that he served them.
Okay.
Because they ate.
But he's the bartender.
Yeah, but they ate there. He also takes orders for food at the bar.
Okay. The bartender who served the defendant and Robinson. BC stated the defendant initially came in and indicated he was picking up his W-2, then informed BC that he was staying there at the Twisted Fisherman to meet a female for a first date. BC knew the defendant as a former employee. BC stated that Robinson arrived and sat with the defendant and they appeared to have casual conversation before leaving together. Did they eat?
Well, they said that they were going to eat there. But it doesn't say any food. But the fact that he's a former employee and that he knows this bartender and he's comfortable enough to tell him that he's waiting for a first date tells me that he may have served her a drink.
Could be.
Because he's an ex-employee. He knows who he is.
Right. Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office Detective Brian Conti conducted an interview on April 3rd, 2024 with ASF, who identified herself as a friend of Robinson. ASF indicated to Detective Conti that she became aware Robinson was missing by seeing it on the news. What? So this is a different friend. ASF stated that after she learned Robinson was missing, she accessed Robinson's Life 360 app on her cell phone. See, I'm telling y'all, that Life 360 app is a lifesaver. It really is. That's what me and my family got. Complainant knows Life 360 is an application that provides location-based services and allows users and subscribers to share their locations with others. ASL stated that upon checking Life 360, she observed that Robinson's phone appeared to be in Wanamart Park around 4:33 a.m. on April the 2nd, 2024. Hey, Miss Lynn, good to see you, boo. Complainant knows investigators relieved Life 360 records from ASF as well as Robinson's mother, SLS. The Life 360 accounts belonging to Robinson also is linked to her phone number mentioned above. Complainant has reviewed the information from Life 360 and summarizes the location of Robinson's phone as follows. And this is a detail, and I mean detail. And I think you read this already, right, D True?
Yeah, this is
That's
them,
what you was
but
reading.
they go into more detail just below this.
All right,
Of
complainant.
go ahead.
Go ahead, go ahead.
No, in more detail, they're giving you the exact breakdown in regular time and where exactly she was, according to Life 360.
The Life 3. I'm telling you, listen, I don't know. I think I told y'all this once before. That Life 360, this is a side note, y'all. And I should be getting paid for this advertisement, but I live by it, like as far as with my daughters. My Leah got it on her phone, my parents, all of us. This app, right, will alert you. It alerts you of a lot of things. Not only does it track you like detail track you, but also it will alert you anybody that's in your circle on that app if that person has an accident. Like, and the way it detects it is if the person is going a certain speed, right, D True? If the person is going a certain speed and all of a sudden, because you know with an accident there's an impact, right? So if the person is going at a certain speed, or the person's car experiences a impact that's strong enough to indicate an accident, it will alert the other members in the circle.
Yeah, the iPhone has that too. If it's called the impact. It's an impact app that is put on your phone. And
Wow.
the phone is jarred so violently that it could tell that you've been
Right.
in an accident.
I think that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. Actually, that app alerted me. My daughter wasn't in an accident. Well, she was in an accident, but she was actually hit sitting still. So she was at a light, my youngest daughter. She was at a light and a car hit her from behind. And the impact was so severe that it alerted us. So when she texted us, well, she texted me and my mom in our group chat, and she said that she had been in an accident. Actually, we was trying to call her to see what happened because it alerted us. Talking to my daughter, I just placed myself in the chat. Oh, okay, Millie.
Yeah,
Tell
well,
baby girl to say hey.
if it feels like you're in an accident, it immediately asks you, "Are you okay?" And if
Mhm.
you don't respond, it asks again, "Are you okay?" And if you
Mhm.
don't respond, it then alerts 911,
Mhm.
and you're on the 360, your friends.
Mhm. Mhm.
So if you had dropped it and it's a far drop, it may. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Yeah,
And
it may. Like if you
yeah,
drop your phone, but it has to be a certain type of
yeah,
impact. But
it has to be
it could,
violent.
yeah, yeah,
It has to be a good distance to shake the phone, but it asks you because again you may have dropped the phone. It's going to
yeah.
ask, "Are you okay? Do you need
Mhm.
assistance?" Because I remember it says, "Are you okay? Do you need assistance?"
Mhm.
And if you don't answer, it
It's gonna
automatically, yeah,
automatically send it.
yeah, 911 is
It's just
called.
like with the alarm system in your house. If
Hmm.
it goes off and you don't like in a certain amount of time put that code in, it's gonna immediately contact the police. I think that's pretty cool. You know. Okay. Complaint states that on April 4th, 2024, Investigators with the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office executed a search warrant. Now, this is them talking. This is speaking about when they searched this house, y'all. Executed a search warrant on the defendant's residence at such and such street in Milwaukee. During the execution of that search warrant, identifiers for the defendant were located, including packages addressed to the defendant. Additionally, blood was located on bedding in one of the bedrooms and on the walls leading to the basement, towards the basement. Several gasoline containers were located in the garage/storage area. Furthermore, complainant knows that the Verizon records for Robinson's phone, which included call detail records and location information on the phone, were analyzed by investigators. The records, consistent with the Life 360 information described above, show Robinson's device in the area of Twisted Fisherman when Robinson is with the defendant at that location. Additionally, the records show the device moved to the area of Dukes on the Water or Dukes on Water at about 6:30 p.m. and around 9:20 p.m. Wait a minute. So the device moved to the area of Dukes on the Water at about 6:30. So
They
they went
stay.
to Dukes twice.
Yeah, they go from Twisted Fister to Dukes on the Water, which is consistent with the Snapchat that she did at Duke's Water, and
Okay, so they was there
till
until, and then it
till
says,
till 9:20.
yeah, that's what I was confused. I was like, wait. Okay, so around 9:20 p.m. the device is in the area of the defendant's residence, such and such street. Complainant knows that Milwaukee Police Detective Jake, these names, Jake P, reviewed poll camera video footage in the area of Dukes on the Water. The footage shows Robinson's Honda Civic arrive at 6:33 p.m. and at 6:34 p.m. Robinson exits the driver's door and the defendant exits. They got so much, Lord. Okay.
Which is consistent with
Yes.
what they're talking about. That he said, "Hey, instead of me following you, why don't we just go in your car?"
Mm-hmm. Um. Da-da-da-da-da. The two of them walk across the street and eventually walk in the direction of Dukes on Water. Detective P also reviewed video footage from Dukes on Water, which depicts the defendant and Robinson hanging out at Dukes on Water. The poll camera video then shows Robinson and the defendant return to Robinson's vehicle and drive away at 9:04 p.m. After that, the phone records show the following. Oh, wow. Okay. Robinson Phones remains in the area of Anderson's residence until about 12:45 a.m. So they were there at his house for about about 3 hours.
So if they left at 9, give them what 15, 20 minutes to get to his house. So from 9:30 to 12:45, they're saying her phone
Was at his house.
inside that house.
Hmm. And then at 12:45 a.m., no, between 12:45 a.m. and 1 a.m., the device appears to travel northbound and eastbound towards the direction of downtown Milwaukee. From about 1 o'clock a.m. till about 1:15 a.m., the phone is in the area of downtown Milwaukee, including the area of Robert's apartment. Before heading northbound, consistent with traveling into the River West neighborhood between 1:15 and 1:30 a.m. It should be noted that between these records and the Life 360 location information, the phone does not appear to be stationary in this time frame. What does that mean?
It means it never stopped, that it continued to move
Okay.
during that
Okay.
time. And at no time did it ever stop, because with the Life 360, it shows you stops and how long you're at that stop.
Okay.
So if you're traveling in a car, if you ever looked at Life 360, somebody's in a car, you actually see the car moving.
I've seen it. It travels just like the GPS. Like if you have GPS put up on your phone and you know how you can watch it and see you moving, it's the same thing. Yeah.
And it's just your initial, and it's moving along the line that you're going.
Right. Complainant further notes that Detective B. Blanchard reviewed video. Hold on one second, y'all. All right, so complainant further notes that Detective B reviewed video footage from Robinson's apartment complex and confirmed Robinson did not return to her apartment at any point, even though they were in the area, did not return to her apartment at any point after being at the defendant's residence on April 1st. At approximately 1:33 a.m., the phone travels north towards the area of Pleasant Valley Park near something something Boulevard and Keefe Avenue, where it remains until about 2 a.m. So he was there for like 30 minutes at that park.
Trying to figure out what he's going to do with these parts. He drives near her apartment to give the indication that she's in the car driving towards her apartment. He knows that they can track all
That
this
makes sense.
through the phone. So he acts like he's heading towards her apartment, and then the car stops for 30 minutes, which gives the appearance that something could have happened to her between the time that the car sat and the
From about Go ahead.
So the half hour gives him an alibi that something could have happened in that half hour. Why did she just stopped right there? Did she meet someone else there? Somebody else get in the car? Did somebody carjack her? You know, a lot of things can come up as
after leaving his house, right? And going home.
Remember,
right?
she's in
Her
car leaving
And that's
his
her
house,
phone.
and her phone is tracking them, and then the car stops. He's giving himself a probable, doubt or reasonable doubt
doubt.
that
Yeah.
somebody else could have committed this, and that he was still in his house. That's why further investigation shows that he's the one in the car.
Damn. From 2 a.m. till about 2:10 a.m., the phone appears to travel westbound, consistent with being on Capitol Drive as it moves west. From 2:12 to about 2:20, the phone moves back eastbound in the area of Capitol Drive. From 2:20 to 2:30, the phone appears to travel southbound, consistent with traveling on Interstate 43. From 2:30 to 2:35, the phone moves westbound, appearing to travel consistent Interstate 41 / Interstate 894 towards Greenfield. From 2:35 a.m. to 2:45 a.m., the phone moves back eastbound and then southbound, consistent with traveling on Interstate 41 / Interstate 94, and then traveling eastbound in the area of College Avenue in the direction of Wanamar Park. From 2:45 a.m. to 3 a.m., the phone appears to be east of the airport in the area of Cudahy in South Milwaukee.
Now remember,
The phone
that's the name of the high school.
Yep. Where that? I think the leg was found.
Where the video was of him ramming, of him going down that road heading towards the pump house.
Mm-hmm. The phone then remains in the area of Wanamar Park between 3 a.m. and 4:30 a.m. From 4:30 a.m. to 4:40 a.m., the phone begins to move northbound towards St. Francis and then has a final cell tower location record around 4:40 a.m. in the area of East Howard Avenue and WI 794 consistent with the location where Life 360 indicates the battery of the phone died. Oh, okay. Let me see how much is it. Oh, I can't. I'm really starting to feel sick. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. All right, we're gonna continue. Y'all know I got another live schedule, but of course I'm gonna be late for that. I wanted to get through this because D Truth took time out to locate it for me, which I appreciate. So I wanted to get it to y'all. Hold on. Now this is discovery of remains near 31st and what is that, Galena Street. So this is a couple of days later, D Truth.
Yes, they only found the leg, and it was a couple days later that somebody else said, but again, this is in the area where the car was set on fire.
Yeah.
So now the police are back out there looking for the rest of the remains.
Mm-mm-mm. On Saturday, April 6, 2024, members of the Milwaukee Police Department began to canvass the area near where Robinson's Honda Civic was set on fire. While searching the area of the 31st and Galena Foot in the wooded area adjacent to the train tracks that border the playground to the east, investigators located, in addition to the foot, another piece of what appeared to be. Let me do this one. Mm. I just. Okay.
Now
So,
remember, they already assume that she's dead.
yes.
So there's no rush to locate anything else. They assume they know that she's dead from the way the leg was,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm guessing the foot. So they've already said she's dead. There's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're doing is in the 4 days it took them to go back out and search.
Mm-hmm.
They're putting together the case to hold him.
Yeah, because even that lady stated on the video, holding him for a week with
Well,
no charges was
but
unusual.
Wisconsin says you have 72 hours to charge someone,
Mm-hmm.
and then an additional 48 hours to put them in front of a judge. So they have 5 days. So they can hold it for 72. And then after they charge him at the 72-hour mark, they have 2 days to get him in front of a judge.
Mm-hmm.
That gives them 5 days. But in the 4 days after, which is April 2nd, they find the leg. They have 4 days to put together a case to charge him to keep him in jail.
Gotcha.
So
Hey, Michelle.
they're at his house. They're searching his house. They're going through that car with a fine-tooth comb. They
Mm-hmm.
already know that she's deceased. So there's no rush for them to go and finding body parts is not going to indicate anything more.
Yeah, because just like that lady said on the video, they've prosecuted people with no body.
You could, because again, you have the assumption that due to what you found is enough to kill someone just by saying, well, he cut her leg off. We don't have anyone in the hospital
Once
missing a leg.
that
Yeah,
artery is severed, it's
yeah.
a
We don't,
W.
it's showing that he broke the femur off, which is telling you
Mm-hmm.
that there's no indication that this
Mm-hmm.
person is alive. So there's no need for us to go out and spend days in the water and search in the parks and everywhere else, because we already know we need to put a case together to hold this man in jail and charge him with the murder of
Mm-hmm.
this woman, because they already said that they found blood. They're not saying how much blood, but they found blood in his house and on the wall leading to the basement.
Mm-hmm.
And then they don't say anything else about that.
They don't even say that it ain't hers until later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so Milwaukee Police Detective Cassandra Lindert located a human foot in the wooded area adjacent to the train tracks that border the playground to the east. Investigators located, in addition to the foot, another piece of what appeared to be human flesh in the same area. Complainant has observed the recovered foot as well as the leg recovered at Wanama Park and observed they appear to be from the same individual, particularly due to skin tone, size, and having matching pink nail polish. The location of where these remains were discovered was about 1 block south of where Robertson's car was set on fire. Um, Members of the Milwaukee Police Department attempted to locate video footage regarding either the disposal of the human remains or footage related to the arson of Robinson's car. Detective Ryan Bergerman obtained video from the Milwaukee County Transit System. That dummy took the bus. Um, Traveling westbound on Lisbon Avenue. The video footage depicts the following. The bus stops on the corner of 29th and Lisbon Avenue at about 7:29 a.m. facing westbound. Um, One of these subjects is wearing a blue coat, and the other subject is wearing a black and white is holding a black and white umbrella. The bus begins to drive forward towards 30th Street, at which time the person in the blue coat appears. Is that him? What does he has on? What
Yeah,
does he have on?
he has a dark blue hoodie on, and there's the tan backpack.
Okay. Um, the bus begins to blue, blah, blah, blah. At which time the person in the blue coat appears to be checking something out to the north, at which time a different subject can be seen walking through the grass lot towards Lisbon Avenue. The subject is walking away from a fire that is beginning to burn in the parking slab behind the building at the corner of 30th and Lisbon. As the transit bus passes the person walking away from the fire, you can see this individual appears to be a white male and is wearing dark pants, a dark gray hooded top, carrying a tan colored backpack with tan straps that appear to be full. As the bus continues to drive westbound on Lisbon Avenue, the burning of Robinson's vehicle is clearly visible. As the bus continues to pass, the subject with the tan backpack can be seen starting to cross Lisbon Avenue southbound. So they had cameras on the bus.
Yes. Well, all buses have two cameras. One faces the back towards the people. The other faces out the front of the bus in case the bus gets in an accident, hits somebody, whatever. So they're seeing that guy walk from the area where the fire starts up the street. Now he doesn't get on this bus until after that. So that bus passes him.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they put him in the area of the fire, walking away from the fire, from the area of the fire from this bus. If you continue reading, you'll see that he gets on this bus.
Milwaukee Police Detective Andrew Mark recovered video footage from Lisbon Liquor and Food Mart. That footage depicts the subject in the blue jacket and the subject with the umbrella walking westbound on Lisbon Avenue. Upon reaching a vacant lot next to the liquor store, both subjects appear to slow down, at which time the one with the tan backpack begins to walk across Lisbon southbound on 30th. The person in the blue jacket then appears to be in shock and begins pointing at the person in the tan. Wait a minute. The person in the blue jacket then appears to be in shock and begins pointing at the person in the tan backpack as he walks away. The subject in the blue jacket then tries to flag down cars passing by and can be heard on the video yelling, "He did that. Ooh, he did that."
Remember, they keep talking about two people. So what
Yeah,
they're
that's
saying,
what I'm looking at. Yeah.
what they're saying is he, I guess he's pointing at the other guy as if the other guy started the fire.
That made me think about what somebody asked in the chat. What did he do it by himself? Um,
I don't think, I think he did it by himself. I think that guy just happened to be walking, and that guy saw him.
mm-hmm. Can be heard on the video yelling, he did that while pointing across the street to the person with the tan backpack. The subject in the blue jacket also began yelling for someone to call the fire department. Investigators were eventually able to identify the subject in the blue jacket as LAD. Detective Vincent Lopez and Detective Thaddeus, what the hell, is interviewed LAD, who stated the following. LAD was walking down Lisbon and with her friend, and saw a white male exit the driver's door of Robinson's. Ooh, they saw him get out of the car.
Yeah, they have witnesses that
Oh
saw him get out.
wow! Oh wow!
Yeah, they have two witnesses that saw him get out of the car
Damn.
throw the lighter inside.
Investigators were eventually. Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, so investigators were eventually able to identify the subject in the blue jacket as LAD. Detective Vincent Lopez and Detective Thaddeus S. interviewed LAD, who stated the following. LAD was walking down Lisbon Avenue with her friend and saw a white male exit the driver's door of Robinson's Honda Civic. She then observed the white male light a lighter and toss it into the driver's door window of the Honda, then began walking in LAD's direction and last saw this white male walking westbound on Walnut Street from 30th. Ooh, Lord. Detectives then saturated the area to recover any surveillance footage that would capture where the subject with the tan backpack walked towards after setting Robertson's car on fire. Through that video canvas, detectives learned the subject with the tan backpack walked westbound towards North 35th Street and then eventually got onto a Milwaukee County Transit System bus at 8:12 a.m. to head southbound on North 35th Street, which is the direction towards the defendant's residence. Mm-mm. The video from the MCTS bus captured captured the face of that subject. You dummy. You dummy. The face of that subject as he boarded and remained on the bus. And through that footage, complainant has reviewed the defendant's booking photo related to his arrest on April 4th, 2024. Um, Complainant is able to identify that subject as the defendant Maxwell S. Anderson. It should be noted that the footage from the bus shows defendant wearing the exact clothing depicted on the subject fleeing the scene of the vehicle arson, including the large tan backpack with tan straps. A depiction of the defendant's booking photo with the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office and the defendant on MCTS bus is depicted below. And that's the video I got up on the screen, y'all. It's showing that video that I'm showing y'all right now. Oh wow, okay. My thing wanna slow down. It may be tired like me. Alright, let me see if it's gonna stroll, y'all. Come on. It might be my yeah, it's my connection. Hold on, y'all.
You want me to finish reading that?
Yeah, because I think my thing has it's slowed down. And I won't go ahead and finish reading.
All right, so the detective reviewed the MCTS video, showed the defendant on the bus, and then defendant boards the bus and pays his bus fare in cash. He then rides that bus south on 35th Street and gets off the bus at approximately 8:35 a.m. near South 35th Street and West Lakefield Drive on Milwaukee South Side. It should be noted that there is not a bus stop at this location, and the defendant asked the bus driver to let him off there. The defendant then departs the bus and begins to walk northbound. What it should be further be noted is approximately an 8-minute walk from that location to the defendant's residence, and this would be the most logical place to depart the bus to walk to the defendant's home. The complaint reviewed surveillance videos affixed to residents across the street from the defendant's residence, which was recovered. The video depicts South 39th Street in the front of the defendant's residence, as well as part of the south side of his residence. There's a front gate on the south side of the residence, and over that gate, the rear gate near the alley is also visible. The defendant can be seen arriving through his back gate that is accessible through the alley behind his house at 8:43 a.m. The arrival at this time is consistent with him having walked to that location from departing the bus. Complaint notes the defendant's dark hoodie top and tan backpack appears full are visible on the video. Complainant knows that Robertson's vehicle was ultimately towed from the location where the defendant set it on fire and was searched by detectives by members of the Wisconsin State Crime Lab. During the search of the vehicle located in the truck was clothing that Robinson was wearing on the evening of April 1st, namely the black puffer coat, light blue ripped jeans, and white shoes, along with her dark grayish brown purse. These items were found in the trunk of the vehicle and were partially fire damaged, although undamaged enough to identify them as items Robinson was wearing. Also recovered was the remain of an iPhone, consistent with the type of iPhone Robinson was known to have. Okay, reviewed additional surveillance video footage for the residents across the street. Her review of the footage revealed the following: at around 9:40 or 9:24 p.m. on April 4th, there was a motion near the back gate of the defendant's property, which appears to swing open, and the shadows consistent with two human figures enter the backyard of the defendant's residence. And at 9:26, the living room light in front of the defendant's residence, the upper unit, turns on. This would be consistent with the time that Robertson's phone appeared to have arrived at the defendant's residence as described above, and would be consistent with Robertson and Anderson arriving at his residence together. At approximately 11:25, there is a human movement in the backyard again. This movement continues on and off until approximately 12:45 a.m. This is consistent with the time when Robertson's phone appeared to depart from Anderson's residence and begins to travel along the city of Milwaukee before eventually ending up apparently stationary near the park where the severed leg was recovered. As described above, Robertson's phone does not appear to depart from Anderson's residence between the arrival of 9:24 on April 1st until 12:50 on April 2nd. So they have video surveillance of them arriving at her house and two people walking in the house, and then only one leaving. Okay. Detectives all recover surveillance video that depicts the alley. This video does not depict the defendant's residence, but it depicts the alley that connects to the defendant's residence. Reviewed the video, which shows Robinson's vehicle leaving the alley around 12:45 or 12:47 a.m. Also recovered video footage from the camera that depicts the intersection, in which is to the north of the defendant. The video footage depicts Robinson's vehicle heading northbound on the street approximately 12:53 a.m. on April 2nd. This movement is consistent with the location on Robinson's phone. Is your computer back up? Hello? Okay, we'll wait for it to get back. Okay, complainant knows. Can everybody hear me? Make sure everything's good. Yeah, it's still going. Okay, so complainant knows on April 4th at around 1:16 a.m., detective conducted a traffic stop of a black Hyundai Santa Fe with the license plate, which listed the department to the defendant. The defendant was stopped near the South 38th Street and West Lakeford Drive, just a few blocks from his residence. The defendant was arrested at this time. A search of the defendant's vehicle led to the recovery of a zip-up hooded coat that appears to be the same coat the defendant is wearing in the still photo from the bus. Based on the preliminary analysis done by the Wisconsin State Lab, that Sade was compared to the blood standard from the human leg recovered, and the DNA analysis supports the preliminary conclusion that the leg belongs to Sade Robinson. The state finds department began investigating into the severed leg recovered from, as well as the missing person investigation related. No one from her family nor her friends have heard from Robinson, and the last contact anyone has with her was April 1st. No one has had contact with Robinson since. She was with the defendant on the night of April 1st into April 2nd. Based on the circumstances surrounding the disappearance as described in this complaint, and recover the human leg that preliminarily identified as Robinson. Complaint concludes Robinson is deceased. The fact mentioned in the complaint caused complainant to conclude that the defendant intentionally killed and then dismembered Robinson with intent to conceal the homicide, and occurred between the arrival at defendant's residence and his departure from the park area. End of complaint. All right, something happened to Truth, so we gotta wait for her to come back. But so this is what they were doing for the 4 days. So if anyone is wondering what they were doing from April 2nd to April 6th, this is what they were doing. They were gathering video footage of all the places that he would have been, so that they could place him at those places. So they didn't start looking for the rest until April 6th. And no one had stumbled upon anything. So because no one had stumbled upon anything, they had to go out and start looking for the rest of her. So unless they can find more of her body, they're not going to be able to tell what the cause of death was. But they do know that she was dismembered after death. So, are we still good? Can everybody hear me? Okay. Well, but again, he doesn't I don't think he sounds like a nutcase. He sounds like a person that panicked. Oh my God, I killed her, which could be consistent with a lot of things. One thing that they could try to get the charge from intentional homicide down to manslaughter. He could have said he pushed her. He could have said he hit her and she fell down and banged her head. And because they can't find the rest of her and they can't do a cause of death, it could be, you could assume that what he's saying is true. You know, he could say he accidentally, choked her while they were having sex. He could say a whole bunch of things because they don't have the evidence to prove otherwise. because all they have is a leg and a foot. And remember, you can't convict someone because you assumed they did something. That's why on the 6th, they went out and started looking for the rest of her because they need the rest of her. Well, he's pleading not guilty. But again, that is the initial pleading. And once his lawyers see all the evidence against him, they may change that plea. Because they got a lot of evidence against him that proves that he intentionally did this. That she's dead, but they don't know what killed her. And again, when you plead guilty, you want to plead to a lesser charge. So if he says that he didn't mean to kill her, that he hit her and she hit her head, and then he panicked, who's to say that that's not what happened? So he would plead down to manslaughter. Or the jury will convict him of manslaughter because they can't prove that he intentionally murdered her. See, there's a difference between intentionally murder someone and manslaughter. Manslaughter means you accidentally killed them. They're charging him with intentional murder or homicide. Well, the blood that's in there, if there was enough for them to do a DNA analysis on it, if someone's dead, then they have that DNA in the system as a deceased person. And anyone that's been found deceased in any manner other than natural causes, their DNA is entered into a database. Did we lose Truth altogether? Let me text her. Money Boy, you still here? So even though you plead not guilty to this charge, it leaves your room to negotiate because they're going to come back, and if they can't prove how she died, but they could prove that she's dead, and they think that they can get the intentional homicide, then his plea bargain would be, hey, I didn't mean to kill her. I got mad, I hit her, and then she hit her head. That's a different charge. Well, if he wanted to get caught, he wouldn't have dismembered her. If he wanted to get caught, he did everything to try and hide as much as he could, or give him a little time or something. But again, he didn't go back and clean up his house because they didn't catch him until a few days later. I'm trying to see the date that they caught him. Did it say what date they caught him? Yeah, April 4th. So 2 days later, he had not cleaned up the house unless he tried to clean up the house and they found traces of blood in the bedroom and on the wall leading down to the basement. It doesn't specify that. But this is 2 days later. And he's still driving around like nothing happened. Well, but he definitely has a history of violence. So understand that. Remember, he's been charged in many violent crimes, mostly to do with his family members. And then, of course, he's got that assault charge where he attacked some guy after he's arguing with a woman. So he definitely has a temper. And he does strike out. I mean, there's no way that he can get off. He can't say he's crazy because his actions are not of a crazy person, other than, his actions say that he has some kind of faculties about him enough to know to try and dismember the person to hide the crime. Okay, so what are we going to do here? It seems that Truth Hurts has been knocked offline for some reason, and she's having problems coming back. Could someone check and see if she's popped up, like put up another live to let everybody know? Because I'm thinking that she got kicked off of this one. So the like I said, the difference between intentional homicide and first degree murder is the fact that it wasn't premeditated. That's the only difference between that. I don't think he's a millionaire because of his jobs. Now his family now the lawsuit that they're putting against him for wrongful death is for that money that he got for selling his house. So he is not a millionaire. His family is. But according to the wrongful death lawsuit, they're asking for that $190,000 that he received for the sale of his house. And of course, other money-wise. But I mean, according to the court papers, it's his house.
I'm sorry, I didn't see Gears in the chat. Hey, Gears. I'm back, y'all. I had walked off. So go ahead, D2.
You walked off. You left me here. I was like, oh my God, what happened?
No, I walked
off. So I finished reading it.
Okay, great. All right.
They got to the point where they put it all together. And I was telling the people that, if you're wondering what they were doing for those 4 days, they've been going through video surveillance.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have video.
Takes time to go through that stuff.
Yeah, they had to find the video first off. They had to follow his route, try to figure out where he would have went and where the videos would have captured it. And then basically they've been putting it together. And they have video of the neighbor's house. The camera points towards his house.
Wow.
So they could actually see the gate open and two human figures go into the backyard. They also show where the light.
Wait a minute. Two? You said two?
Two. Where him and her go through that gate.
Okay.
Into the backyard. So they don't go through the
Oh,
front
wow.
door. They go through the back. They go through the backyard. They go into the house. It also shows a light goes on, which is consistent of those two going in the house. So nothing goes on until about 12:45. When it shows another figure pop up in the backyard, and then a few minutes later.
Hold on. You welcome, Gears. Gears, we're gonna end in a minute on this episode, but I'm gonna be back Friday to get into some more if you want to come back on Friday and join the panel. But you're welcome. Go ahead, the truth. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So they have video of that home video of that surveillance there. They also have another one that depicts the back alley that shows her car leaving.
Does it show who gets in it after they
No,
were in the house?
It doesn't show. It doesn't point at his house. It points the alley. So they do see her car leaving, and the reason that they go through the backyard to get in the house is because she parked in the alleyway behind the house. So that camera also shows that car departing, and at what time the car departed.
Wow.
So now the family is suing for that $190,000.
Yeah, her family. Yeah.
So he's not a millionaire. His family is, but he's not. They want the $190,000 that he received for that house.
Wow.
And of
Yeah,
course,
but see, I was wondering how they would be able to just sue the family who. Yeah.
The only way would be it would have to be their home, or he did something on their property, or they are trying to help him. If they find out that they're trying to help him, then because the only person in the lawsuit is him. His family is not mentioned in the lawsuit. Now, if they could find a connection to them helping him, then they can be added to the wrongful death suit.
Wow. All right, y'all. That's gonna be it for today. I'm actually almost an hour late for my other live, but hey, it is what it is. But thank you, D True, for taking. I had to go walk out and see what ask questions exactly. Yeah. You hurt your own family. Yeah, he did. He's something else.
Yeah, that's why I said he has a history of violent behavior with his family and with other people. So he does have an anger problem, and the courts remanded him.
And I know you said I know you said he wasn't drunk when he hit that gate, but I think he was, and I'm gonna tell you why, because he has a history of being drunk as well. And committing violence.
Yeah.
And committing violence while he's drunk.
Well, that could be the reason why she drove.
Yes.
They could have left that restaurant and he was drunk.
Yes, that's what I'm telling you.
She was taking him home because he was drunk. That could be the reason that his car stayed at the restaurant to begin with. And then they went to the next restaurant. But the thing about it is, he may have got drunk. They were there for 2 hours, so he may have got, or 3 hours. He may have got drunk at that restaurant, and she's like, "Let me take you home."
Yep.
I'm not gonna take you back to the car. Let me take you home. and then she makes sure that he gets in the house, and that's
Wow.
where it all goes left.
Wow. Could be. Could be. All right, y'all. Let me get off of here. Listen, I appreciate everybody that supported the live. I thank y'all so much for supporting this live stream. Extra thanks to D True. Thank you so much, D True. My boy Trey, go to hell. He ain't did shit.
How the hell do I keep getting told to go to hell?
Where were you? She left me here. She went off to do whatever. I'm like,
Yep.
Trey, are you still here? Nothing. I'm like, damn, I'm dying here. I'm dying here.
No, I knew you had it. I knew you had it. I knew you
I was
had it.
like, what else am I going to talk about?
I knew you had it. Thank you, E Brooks. Thank you, girl. So listen, y'all. We'll be back on Friday, and we're gonna talk about the lawsuit against him. Well, the wrongful death lawsuit against him, and I'm gonna come with some other stuff. Okay, so we'll be back on Friday, y'all, on this case right here, and I appreciate y'all joining this live. Thank you so much for supporting. If you haven't hit the like button, hit it on the way out. Anybody watching the replays, do the same. Thank you, D True. I appreciate you, and yeah, we're gonna get out of here. I see y'all on Friday over there, but I'll see y'all in a few minutes on the T channel. Okay. With that being said, D Truth, you want to say anything before we head out?
No, I'm tired now.
It wasn't that long. How long? I wasn't gone that long. Damn.
Okay, chat. How long was she gone? Like over a good 5-10 minutes, right?
That's not long, D Truth. That's
Trey,
not long. That's
Trey,
not long at all.
Trey, how long was she gone, Trey? I know you know.
Thank you, Leah. He don't know. Hell, he was gone. The hell?
It felt like forever. I was like, damn.
It was not, D Truth. You did good. You did good.
I finished reading that thing 5 minutes ago, and I was just going back and forth. And then Gears came in, and I was talking to him, and he was saying things, and I was just trying to. I was like, what else can it go? You know, and that's why I brought up the whole thing about that he could, you know, because they don't have a body.
Yeah.
He could say that, you know, he didn't mean to do it.
That's what I was saying.
That he
You know, because it has been cases that I've watched where there was nobody and they found like blood maybe or something like that. But it's been cases prosecuted and the defendant found guilty where there was actually no body found. So I think he's pretty much done. I think he is.
His plea down would be I didn't intend. It was an accident.
I didn't mean it. It was an accident,
It was
right?
an accident. She fell,
and I panicked, which is why I dismembered her. Yeah.
She fell, hit her head. I didn't know what to do. She was dead. I didn't know what to do. You know,
right.
There could have been many, but without a body, there's no way for them to prove that what he's saying isn't true.
That's true. All right, y'all. I see y'all on Friday, okay? Over here. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. True Siblings in State Game. Y'all be safe, be blessed, never stressed. And until in a few minutes or Friday over here, y'all be safe, be blessed, and never stressed, okay? And we out. Thank you, D True. Thank you, Trey. All right. Thank you, Gears.